Happy Friday. It's finally here. Oh my gosh, it seemed like it took forever to get here. Hope everybody's doing good. Kelt, thank you. Happy Friday the 13th as well. And thank you for the intro messages. I see Kelt beat you, Pam. How you doing, Pam? I heard about the leopard that went missing at the Dallas Zoo. I didn't save anything. The videos were very lengthy, but I'm sure there'll be one that comes across. Does anybody know what happened to him? Yes, Kerber. No nap for me. I actually skipped. I skipped supper. I got all my prep done. And I even have a phone number for the podcast now. So if you want the phone number, here it is. 812-250-8484. That'll be the new call-in number if you'd like to call in. Here's the number. That is the podcast's phone number. How are you, Pam? How are you, SRB? Oh my gosh, that's a lot of coffee turquoise drinking face. Hey, Pastor Brown. What's up, Kid Kitty? How you doing? Oh, it is freezing out today, isn't it? Soft blanket, thick blanket. Yes. A big old blanket does sound good. I do have my lottery ticket. Here's my numbers. Let's see. I just had them do a auto because I was running out of time at lunch. Where's the star? And then this is the Powerball 08. Those are my numbers, or not Powerball. Whatever it's called. Mega ball, whatever. Skipping the coffee and going for a drink. What's up, Detective Juan? How you doing? There it is. I can't wait to get my other music. The organ with the creepy sound is probably in a week. Soda. What kind of soda? Happy the Friday the 13th. Everybody else get their tickets too. I too, everyone, because repetitive. Oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot to get a Powerball. Went straight to my heavy coffee. Nice. I didn't either. That's cool. Gotta have that coffee. What's up? Yeah, that is the phone number for the podcast now. I'm still trying to figure out how I can get the ring into work even though I'm not on the tab. But I know that I can talk after I answer it, so there's still some more fooling around. It's all brand new to me. It has been 15 degrees. Oh, whoa, no way. I never really play that much either, Detective Juan, but when it's this big, I'll spend $3 at the chance of winning billion. None of us had this. Wouldn't that be crazy but suck at the same time? Oh no, it's not a video call. It's just regular phone call. And I'm still there's a way that you can have anonymous go straight to voicemail, because I'm not even interested in entertaining any anonymous phone numbers, because I already know what that would mean. There's a way. We'll figure it out. I wanted to at least get it set up for tonight. That way it's there. And then I can fool with the rest tomorrow in the daytime. So you can call the show at 812-250-8484 if you have something you'd like to share. And it was cool. I got to pick out of like 15 different phone numbers, and that 8484 stuck out to me. I was like, that is ringy. It's catchy. It's easy. I like it. So that's my number. Oh, yeah. Got me a new folder for tonight. That's automatic, Pam. That is automatic. Right, Coat? Nope. Yeah, I got a new folder. I'm going to get to your links tonight, too. So we are, let me see, I've got a whole bunch of them, too. But I'm going to scroll through the breaking just to see what we got first, and then we can head to some links. Let me see here. Now JLR is in Delphi, Indiana. There is some Delphi videos today too. It looks like the trial, the request for a different location was denied. That's all I know. I don't know too much about it. I just saw the headline, and I was kind of bummed out. It says it's going to remain in Carroll County. Yeah. All right, I'm just scrolling through the breaking real quick. I'm not seeing nothing here. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything. Okay, so Mega Million, 10 o'clock. We'll have to check that at the end of the show. I will put the winning numbers up there. Let me see. Ooh, that is a new video, Law and Crime Network. I might start off with that one. Last seen in Cordia Big Lots. That's weird. Am I really getting a freaking phone call? One second. Who the am I getting a call on the thing? No. Huh. I don't know who that is. I can't write down my numbers. Why his dad kicked him out of the will? Okay. He win, I get half. He buys the tickets. Stupid YouTube doesn't have a squirrel emoji. Oh yeah, there's a video I need to play too about the new demonetization or something, and how a lot of the creators aren't going to be getting paid anymore for, I don't know. Financially, I get it, Detective Juan, totally. I don't know. It was an 866 number, so I don't know. Not sure what it was. It's a given. All right. Let's switch to the new folder. 0123. We're going to separate it by months. Okay, I do. Let me see here. There was something I wanted to start off with. Yeah, look at that. YouTube monetization steadily gone for many channels. Why did they do this? Not that I am. All right, got 49 videos. Wow, I'm surprised I have that much. Okay, I wanted to play this Lisa Marie, but it's something about cardiac arrest. I just kind of wanted to. There's a lot of people that had interviews with her at the Golden Globes or whatever, and they all were like saying like how she seemed off and how she couldn't keep her balance and how her words were slurred a little bit and she just didn't seem right. And this is from every single person that they talked to. So it had me thinking, like, why didn't somebody notice signs in her inner circle? Why somebody didn't contact a doctor if she was feeling all this way? Because to me, that is symptoms of some kind of heart problem coming up. So I figure I'd get into this video about a doctor talking about cardiac arrests and how quickly they can happen, and maybe they have some insight on some feelings or experiences that maybe we can notice in oneself, and and maybe just something to think about in the back of the head. If anybody ever does experience this, I'd like to see somebody make it to the hospital before she was found in her room alone. And that's so sad. Yeah, let me maybe I'll just start the show with I have a couple of Lisa Marie Presley videos. Maybe I'll just start the show with that, and then we can get into this other stuff. I think that's a good idea. Thank you, everybody, for hopping in and hanging out. Ooh, let me turn this music down.
Seen at the Golden Globes celebrating on Monday the film featuring her father's life. It is putting the spotlight back on the risks for heart disease, especially after what we saw on the field with Damar Hamlin.
Oh, yeah.
Against sudden cardiac arrest. Joining me now to discuss
that is true.
Factors, Dr. Saju Matthew. He's a primary care doctor and public health specialist. To have high-profile people go into sudden cardiac arrest, it raises a lot of awareness. And I think most importantly for people to understand, it can happen to anybody at any time. So it's important we know what to do when that happens. Let's talk about Lisa Marie here for a moment, because she was 54 years old. She was young, but she had a lot of health issues. In rehab 5 times, seen at the Golden Globes as very thin. She was slow, slurring her words. What will doctors be looking at in an autopsy and trying to understand what caused her heart to stop?
Yeah, good morning, Marty. Really a sad event that just happened. In lieu of talking about cardiac arrest with Damar Hamlin, really the bottom line when somebody has a cardiac arrest is trying to figure out why the person had a cardiac arrest. In fact, 70% of people who have a cardiac arrest actually have structural heart disease. It might be a blockage of the vessels that supply the heart. It could be damaged muscle. It could be scarring. And also the risk factors that raise your risk of having heart disease is the same risk factors that increase your risk for having a cardiac arrest. So obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And in women, there could also be different risk factors, being postmenopausal, anxiety and depression. We know that Lisa Marie.
Well, thanks for hopping in, Chick. I wanted to pause the video real quick because I just want to say prayers for your mom. And I hope everything gets better soon and quick, speedy. And I appreciate you hanging out and listening while you're doing those things for your mom. I appreciate you.
Marie Presley has been through a lot of depression and anxiety in the last few years, especially with the death of her son. So the most important thing is to try to figure out exactly what the cause is. And sometimes, unfortunately, we may never find out.
How closely will they be looking at contributing factors? As you look at her on the red carpet, people describe her as just not looking like herself, having a troubling time coming up with words to answer some of the questions. There have been something going on with her heart just a couple of days ago?
Absolutely. In fact, 50% of people actually have a cardiac arrest. The first manifestation is actually a cardiac arrest, but the underlying cause is heart disease. So again, most importantly with Lisa Marie Presley is to figure out exactly what might have caused. Could there have been a damage to the heart muscle? Could she actually have had symptoms of a heart attack prior to dying? And cardiac arrest can happen so quickly. Sometimes people don't even know that they have risk factors. The most important thing is obviously administering CPR, and if you have a defibrillator, to shock the heart back into rhythm as quickly as possible.
Right, and talk about the statistics around the quicker action is taken, the more likely a life is saved. I think that's the bigger picture for the general public anytime someone's heart stops.
That's exactly right. And for every celebrity that actually has a cardiac arrest, there are hundreds and thousands of people in the world that actually die from a cardiac arrest. 3/4 of these arrests happen at home. About 350,000 people have cardiac arrests per year in the United States. For every minute that we don't restore heart function back to normal, your mortality goes up by 10%. So that's why it's really important for us to be very comfortable with bystander CPR. Remember, you don't have to do the mouth-to-mouth breathing, just heart compressions in the middle of the chest. And if you can get a hold of a defibrillator, that is key in restoring the heart rhythm.
Yeah. Important information this morning. Our thoughts are with Presley's family, her mother, and her kids. And she was described as having such a big heart and being so giving to others. She continues to give, even in her death, raising awareness about heart disease. Dr. Sajju Matthew, thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your
That's sad. All right, let me hit up another one. Man, yeah, it scares me too, Detective One. Seriously. I'm not only trying to spread whatever information I can, but I'm also trying to learn it too, just for myself. This is Billy Bush on an interview on News Nation talking about his interview.
I will bring in my friend Billy Bush, who is the host of Extra. And Billy was the last person to interview Lisa Marie just at the Golden Globes. Billy, you can hear me?
Hi, Ashley. I can hear you.
This is such crushing news. And I think about the interview that you just conducted with Lisa Marie. I need you to weigh in on the facts that we're learning.
Well, yeah, 2 nights ago, it was the last interview she did before walking into the show. She had obviously formed a relationship with Austin Butler through the process of Elvis the movie. I can tell you this, we had 2 steps up onto our platform. And I asked her, here, let me lend you a hand to come up. And she was on the arm of Jerry Schilling, who is, an old manager of Elvis and a manager of her, by the way, too. He was a member of the Memphis Mafia and a great friend, and he was holding her arm. And she was very much relying on his support for balance. And she spoke very slowly. And I can tell you this, when the interview was over, I said to my crew, something's off. There's no question that she was off. She was a little slow.
Thank you for watching. Go to News.
Damn, that's all they're going to give us? He kept talking too. Come on, what's wrong with that? Let's see, there's another one on here too. Let's see. A lot of videos on Anna Walsh. Global shock. There's another one I thought. A lot of Delphi. Okay, I guess that's the only one. All right, let me see here. Global shock, of course. She's an icon.
Sam Rubin, an entertainment anchor at News Nation affiliate KTLA. He is our, of course, resident entertainment anchor. You've been covering Hollywood for so many years. And Lisa Marie Presley, one of the most famous people on the planet. How impactful is it that she died?
Adrian, obviously, as you just mentioned, it's an extraordinarily heavy last name and a global last name. And Lisa Marie Presley, Priscilla, just like Elvis, known certainly all over the globe. And I think what people right now still are coping simply with the shock of this, even though she was not in the best of health at the Golden Globes, she was seen at that award ceremony, not only walking the red carpet, but on the receiving end of praise from the actor who played Elvis, Austin Butler, who mentioned both Lisa Marie and Priscilla during his acceptance speech. And you saw their emotional reaction to that. And then, less than 48 hours later, she's gone. So I think that's something that people are having a hard time sort of getting their head around. And now, and I think the way coverage works, the fact that we were all made aware that there was an incident, cardiac arrest, heart failure at her home, that she was in hospital, and sort of the medical condition as it deteriorated throughout the day, ultimately ending in her passing. I think it's an emotional time for everybody here, and consequently, you've seen this absolutely outpouring of reaction. She was well thought of, and sometimes I think it is a burden to have a name that prominent, and I think it was both the blessing and the burden for Lisa Marie Presley to have that last name.
You know, we talked about how shaky she was at the Golden Globes. You mentioned it too. But the fact that she was living at her ex-husband's home, was there any particular reason for that? Did we know if it was because of her health?
I don't necessarily know that it was because of her health. Calabasas is sort of a quiet suburban community outside of Los Angeles and has an extraordinarily large entertainment population. A lot of people in show business sort of elect to retreat there. You can raise your kids in a more normal circumstance. And of course, her former husband had children of his own. I think she probably just sought comfort there. It was, a man she was familiar with, and they obviously maintained a good relationship. I think people are always looking for family to a degree with Lisa Marie, her one daughter, a busy and successful actress. Of course, her son, as you mentioned, passed away. I don't know. I think that probably is what kept her at that house, that there was family around her there.
Right. Absolutely. And she was surrounded by her mother and her daughter at her bedside when she passed. Thank you, Sam, for being with us this morning early.
Thank you for watching.
So sad. I know. I didn't really know too much about her life. But that's what I heard, that she had a very rough life with a lot of different things, but I don't know. I don't know that much about her, so I really couldn't speak on it. That's just what I've heard. All right. I just wanted to go ahead and get into those. Now, this is another something before we get into all this other. Oh, whoa. A number of things can cause. There they are. That's weird, YouTube. Now they pop up. I'm going to play this one too. Number of things that can cause cardiac arrest. I really want to learn about this.
Let's bring in Dr. Dave Montgomery, a board-certified cardiologist, generalist, and host of the Good Doctor TV. Good to have you with us once again. That moment on the Golden Globes red carpet, she appeared to be a little off balance, a little shaky while doing those interviews. Was that a warning sign?
Yeah, good morning to you. I wish it were under different circumstances. When you look back at it, you kind of wonder, was she experiencing some of the typical signs and symptoms of heart disease? And I can't say just from the way she appeared that that's what it was. She had been very public over the last 4 years, about her battles with opioids and things like that. And we think that she has, was in recovery. We do know that, genetics plays a big role in heart disease. Dad had a heart attack and heart failure and died very, very early. And, could she have had some of those genes that caused that? I mean, there's a number of things that can play together And I think we should respect what Priscilla said, and that is to give them some privacy before we speculate too much.
Well, we don't know the cause, exact cause of this cardiac arrest. She was only 54. You mentioned the addiction. But in terms of her family history of heart disease, I mean, Elvis had heart trouble. Both of his parents died of heart attacks. So how likely is it that you will experience a heart attack if you have your parents and your grandparents with the same issue?
Yeah, Adrian, great point. It is a big factor in your own medical history, your parents' history. And so because we don't know all of the details of Elvis Presley's heart condition, we can speculate that you will get some of those genes from your parents, if it was in fact genetic. Cholesterol, for example. I tell my women around this phase of age that although you're young and you're healthy, this is also a time when your body is naturally changing. So we call it menopause, when the hormonal environment changes, things like cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, all of those things change without you changing anything else. We've got to bring this into our consideration when it comes to this. And we know from the national data that women in this age range, the risk of heart disease is actually going up while older women's risk is going down.
Yeah. And again, for anyone, male or female, you know, you think about Elvis dying of a heart attack because of prolonged drug use. You think about Lisa Marie, cardiac arrest, admitted drug use. And then, of course, it's been in the news with Damar Hamlin having a cardiac arrest on the field. Totally different cause, totally different circumstances. But it seems as though, is it just me or is it in the news more often? Are we seeing more people with heart failure? Are these numbers going up?
Yeah, I mean, you make the point, right? Which is the group between 35 and 54 across the board in women, the incidence of heart attacks and heart failure is going up, and so we see that, and there are a number of reasons for that. And I think, although to your point, the reason for Hamlin's cardiac arrest is very different. We know that things like heart disease from genetics, like a blocked artery that was caused by cholesterol, or opioids, or a combination of the two, can literally cause a heart in that sensitive period that we were looking at last week in the EKG that causes the heart to beat. It can cause a chaotic heart rhythm, and one can sustain a cardiac arrest. And so I think, right now what we should be doing is just, wrapping our arms around the family and giving our thoughts and prayers at this point.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
I mean, I don't know. That stuff was kind of obvious. I thought I was going to learn more than that with that video. Oh, well. All right. Now, I think there's just one video on this superintendent. Some superintendent learned a weapon before 6-year-old shot teacher. Best seminar I've ever attended was on death. Where was that at, Pam? This is about that teacher that was shot by the 6-year-old student.
Well, a timeline review shows Virginia school officials knew that a first grader had a gun on campus before he shot his teacher. Last week's shooting happened in Newport News, Virginia. The school system superintendent told parents last night that at least one administrator was notified about a possible weapon before the shooting. Police have said the 6-year-old boy brought the gun to school in his book bag and that he intentionally shot his teacher, Abigail Zwerner. She's recovering in a hospital. The child is being held at a medical.
All right, that was nothing much there. What is up with that? Is that just for clicks or something? Oh, 30 seconds. I didn't know that. I thought it was more than that. I saw what you put, and that was very first thing husband asked this morning when he heard about her. Oh, about stress? With the hospice program. What are you guys talking about? Let's see. All right, let me scroll to the top. We'll get rid of that. I did want to play this YouTube monetization video real quick for any other creators that maybe might stumble across this and this does affect them. Suddenly gone from many channels. I don't even know much about it. I don't even know if I can have memberships. But I did want to check this out and maybe let everybody else know as well.
Today we're going to get into the latest YouTube news, including a new feature that allows you to add multiple audio tracks to W videos. Why millions of videos, including some of yours, could be losing their monetization status. And YouTube director Todd Beaupré's response to rumors that YouTube thumbnails might be going away. Of course, timestamps are below.
Why not? Why?
First up, YouTube recently announced an upcoming feature that allows you to add multiple audio tracks to W videos. This means you'll be able to create multi-language versions of your content and make it easier for audiences around the world to watch your videos. This feature will be powered by a new tool called Allow from Area 120. That's Google's in-house incubator for new products. Allow uses advances in audio separation, machine translation, and speech synthesis to reduce time-consuming and costly steps like translation, video editing, and audio production. Essentially, this is a speech synthesis tool from Google that takes a video in one language and then turns it into multiple other languages. And although the dubs are done by machine learning, they're synthetic voices, they sound extremely human-like. Next is something that creators are finding pretty upsetting. A few weeks ago, we shared this video discussing some of the strange updates to YouTube's advertiser-friendly guidelines. In that video, we talked about how YouTube was getting stricter with what kind of content they would allow to earn ad revenue, like adding a new policy prohibiting dishonest behavior, and specifically calling out creators who pretend to be retail store employees or stay in stores after business hours. However, this new rule applies to any content YouTube and advertisers believe portrays or encourages unethical behavior. You can think of all the channels this will impact. They also made updates to their inappropriate language policy, adding more restrictions on when and how much profanity you can use in your content. First, announcing that all varieties of profanity are now treated equally, meaning they are not differentiated based on levels of severity. Even when in the past, some mild profanity was allowed, or harsher words were.
You can't even use hell or damn.
Not. But that's not all. It also says profanity used in the first 7 seconds or used consistently throughout the video may not receive ad revenue. Not using profanity in the first 7 seconds of your video, that's honestly not that big of an ask. Why is it 7 seconds? Buddy, I have no idea. If you understand why it's 7 seconds, let us know in the comments below, because I've been digging for answers. I have not found them yet. But you can't use profanity consistently throughout a video. But what does that mean? What's consistently? Is it once every minute, twice a minute, once in a video, 5 times in a video? we don't know. They don't say. And many creators who previously had no issues with their content regarding profanity are now seeing their videos restricted or demonetized, and will have no choice but to clean up their content if they want to continue to make money. Although there were 6 major updates in their new advertiser-friendly guidelines, these 2, along with this last one regarding game violence, are causing the most trouble among creators. Game violence directed at a real named person are acts that are manufactured to create shocking experiences, such as brutal mass killings, implied moment of death, such as bombing of a building with people inside, may not receive ad revenue. But standard gameplay where gory images are present after the first 8 seconds, non-graphic tragedies in their aftermath, such as footage of a town flooded or police seizures as part of law enforcement, may receive ad revenue. I'm not even gonna act like I fully understand what all of that means. First, what's the difference between standard gameplay and non-standard gameplay? How do you tell if something's manufactured to create shocking experiences? We need more clarity. It's important to note that these changes were applied retroactively. So if your content, in the past was in good standings, it might not be anymore, because these changes apply to the content you post in the future, but also to all the content that you posted in the past, which has been the biggest cause of debate and frustration for so many channels, because they built these catalogs of tons, millions, not millions. I don't know any creator who has millions of videos, but hundreds of videos, and suddenly a lot of them, the majority of them, some of them, a little bit of them, just enough to really annoy you, got demonetized. I'll link this video at the end if you want a full breakdown of these changes, so you can make sure you can avoid your content is not at risk of being demonetized. Comment below, what are your thoughts on these changes so far? let's talk about YouTube eventually removing thumbnails.
What?
At least that's what I thought when I made this video a few weeks ago that kind of took off. If you missed it, YouTube has been experimenting with how videos get recommended to viewers. One of the biggest changes is the inline player that allows viewers to play a video directly on their homepage, forgoing the need to have to actually click through and watch it. Now that thumbnails disappeared during the scroll, the choice whether or not to watch a video relied heavily on hooking the viewer within the first few seconds of your intro. Todd Beaupre, the director at YouTube, even proclaimed that for many viewers, the video intro is the new thumbnail. If you read the comments on that video, many of you, like me, are rejoicing at this idea that you don't have to be graphic designers tirelessly cranking away at thumbnails that really aren't that effective. But then again, some of you are upset at this idea and you want thumbnails to stay. And I understand that too. And this video was only talking about the potential of YouTube removing thumbnails. I think I still believe will eventually come. Nation already optimizing for,
which is pretty scary, but we're already optimizing the intros. I just love packaging. Like, I love titles and thumbnails. It's like a weird passion. It's like my favorite thing about creating. And so that the idea that that would be obsolete is sad, but there's always a way to be innovative and creative.
But Todd tweeted again to bring a little bit more clarity to the situation in response to a Twitter user who was a little bit concerned. Todd says that YouTube has no plans to remove thumbnails. With that said, auto previews are used by many viewers to decide what to watch, and many videos have high abandonment in the first few seconds. Putting effort into a compelling video intro that your video delivers on is smart. So to clear everything up, at this present moment, YouTube has no plans to remove thumbnails. But intros are still super important because it's what viewers use to decide whether they want to continue watching your video or abandon it. So you need to hook them in the first few seconds of your content and keep them engaged all the way into the end, like I just did with you. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
If anybody would like the link for that video, or if they know anybody to share it to, there's the link for that. TubeBuddy. I just subscribed to them. I'm not sure. I just came across that video and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm sure people would like to know. I didn't know. But I'm not monetized, so. Man, you can't swear or nothing. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Kid Kitty. What's that for, Pam? What the heck? 7 of them? Yeah, thank you, everybody. All right, YouTube knows no other platform. Yeah, I know. That's ridiculous. Like, if I have... I don't know if this is true or not, but I read on YouTube that I have to be any age channel in order to be monetized. Like, I can't be monetized at a 18 plus. Like, how are you supposed to... How do you talk about true crime? Because if you're under 18, well, I mean, not under 18, but, you know, if you're a child, you shouldn't be watching the stuff we talk about. So I don't understand that. Quality time. Aw. Yeah, but what other platform? I mean, I can go to Twitch. I'll tell you right now, I can do 20 million times more things and watch 20 million times more stuff on Twitch. I could tell you that. I could even play music. I even have my different background music that I can play. And I don't know. But I want to do YouTube. I do enjoy YouTube. People need to get their donation. Oh, I lost it. Way other than YouTube. Don't let YouTube pay. Yeah, I just have my Cash App up there. Like, you know, honestly. So. And I think I swear too much to get monetized. I really do. I do swear a lot. Rumble something else I can't remember. Uh-oh. Yeah. I don't know. I never even checked out Venmo, but I just figure Cash App. I don't know. Maybe not that many people have it. I did use PayPal, but that has my real name on there. And I'm like, I can't change it? Nope. All right, never mind. So I just do the Cash App thing. Yeah, if anybody would like to share that with anybody they know that might be affected by that.
Today we're going to get into the
latest.
latest.
My Lord. No, we're not. Oh, yeah, because I had to go to the channel to get the link for that. That's right. All right. Mega Million jackpot, 1.35 billion. And we'll be checking our numbers in a couple short hours. Okay, preliminary hearing. That's 36. Peers. Change of venue denied. That's only a minute and 19. I'm not even going to do it. There's other videos that are longer. All right. Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen appears for court hearing.
The prosecution and defense in the Delphi murders are trying to figure out where they'll find the jury, the team that will be tasked with deciding if Richard Allen is responsible for killing Abby Williams and Libby German.
And they now just have 1 week to agree which county those jurors will come from.
And that is just, it's one of the that came out of a hearing.
I believe, I'm not too sure, but I'm thinking it's the ads and the views, how many views it is as well. But yeah, definitely the ads. I even get money off Twitch because I stream on Twitch as well. I stream on Twitter and Twitch at the same time as YouTube. And honestly, I make I just got paid $52 for my commercial revenue from Twitch for the show for the last month. So, I mean, it's not much, but it's, $52. I did have a lot of long shows, though, because I had that holiday break for almost 2 weeks, and I was doing double shows for a few days, shows that were 6-7 hours long. It was a lot of work. $52. Yikes. That's for all of that hour, all them hours. That's a lot of hours, but I'm like, screw it. I might as well get paid from Twitch. Stream Twitch too.
Today, the judge in this quick hearing that wrapped up just about 6.5 hours ago.
So tonight, our Rich Nye breaks down the key highlights that happened at today's hearing.
I don't use PayPal.
The judge, prosecutor, and defense attorneys all agree that it would be difficult, if not impossible, to find an impartial jury here in Carroll County. So the jury will come from another county, but Richard Allen's murder trial will stay right
pretty
here in
powerful.
Delphi.
Richard Allen, you child murderer! Why did you do it? Shame on you!
One person yelled as Allen was brought to the courthouse with heavy police presence, his hands and feet shackled, wearing a bulletproof vest.
He misses his wife. He misses human connection with people. So it's been difficult for him.
The gag order allows defense attorneys to talk to the media, but not about the evidence. In the courtroom, Judge Francis Gold said it was important to try the case in Carroll County.
Yes, they were.
The murders of Libby German and Abby Williams took place near Delphi Trail almost 6 years ago. Keeping the trial here is also cost-saving and convenient for the victims and suspects' families, attorneys, and witnesses.
Moving an army of people to southern Indiana is probably it's not the best use of taxpayer dollars, and it's also just logistically difficult for all of us.
The defense had asked the trial to be moved 150 miles away. Instead, the judge gave both sides a week to agree upon another Indiana county for the jury pool. We got our best look so far at Richard Allen as he left the courthouse Friday. He returns here February 17th for a bail hearing. What does attorneys say about the possible
taxpayer dollar? And it's also just logistically difficult for all of us.
The defense had asked the trial to be moved 150 miles away. Instead, the judge gave both sides a week to agree upon another Indiana county for the jury pool. We got our best look so far. Richard Allen as he left the courthouse Friday. He returns here February 17th for a bail hearing. What does attorneys say about the possibility for bail?
You got rid of the
at
goatee.
6 o'clock.
The long
In
goatee
Delphi,
there.
Rich Knight, 13 News.
Wow. Watch that again.
We got our best look so far at Richard Allen as he left the courthouse Friday. He returns here February 17th for a bail hearing. What does attorneys say about the possibility for bail at 6 o'clock? In Delphi, Rich Knight, 13 News.
Now, the next hearing is on February 17th, and that happens to come just a few days after some pretty significant anniversaries in this case.
That's right. February 13th marks 6 years since Abby and Libby disappeared back in 2017. The next day, on Valentine's Day, someone found their bodies in the wooded area near the bridge where they were last seen.
It was on February 15th, 6 years ago, that police released the image of the man in the blue jacket. This image taken from video that was on Libby's phone. Both girls laid to rest a few days later. That was on February 18th, 2017.
And as we continue to follow this case, we have made it easier for you to find all of our coverage on the Delphi murders. All you have to do is scan the QR code that you see on your screen right now. This is where you'll find a full timeline, details on the arrest, the court documents so far, and what's next in this case. This code will take you to WTHR.com/Delphi.
/Delphi. Pretty neat. I paused it.
Tonight, the prosecution and defense in the Delphi murders are trying to figure out where they'll find the jury.
I paused it. All right, we got a video on News Nation about the change of venue request denied. Hear what they have to say. Former FBI
All
profiler.
eyes on Delphi, Indiana, as the man accused of females appeared in court today. Richard Allen is charged with the 2017 deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German, but he was only taken into custody last October, 5 years later. That news shocked a lot of people. Allen wasn't on anyone's radar. He denies it all, and his defense team says they will prove it.
I'm confident that he's one of the guys SRB. I feel that TK was at the bottom of the hill, possibly along with somebody else, but definitely TK. And I think TK had a knife. I think RA was bridge guy with a gun. And I think KK was the supplier of CP for the locals. He got his from a bigger supplier in southern Indianapolis. And it's all connected to a CP ring that extends beyond the state of Indiana and goes to multiple other states as well. But if you want to hear Delphi, you got to listen to Justice Served Daily and the Justice Crew, right, Co? But that's what I feel.
But authorities insist they have the right man. And today, a judge making some key decisions in this case, including the possibility that the trial scheduled for March 23rd could be delayed. News Nation Sloan Glass is live in Delphi, Indiana. So Sloan, tell us what happened in court today.
Nicole, court today was short. Richard Allen looked shocked. His eyes were darting around the room, and even though his hands were shackled to his body, you could still see them shaking as the judge announced the location of the trial. Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen arriving to court today.
Richard Allen, you child murderer! Why did you do it? Shame on you! Shame on you, Richard!
Allen stands accused of killing 14-year-old Libby German and 13-year-old Abby Williams near a community hiking trail in Delphi, Indiana. Despite the girls bravely taking video of their killer for over half a decade, no arrests were made until October 2022. At the briefing hearing, Judge Van Gold made a series of key decisions about his upcoming trial, namely that Allen's trial needs to be held in Carroll County for the convenience of witnesses and family members, but not with a Carroll County jury, calling it difficult, if not
What's up,
impossible,
Punksy?
to find jurors in the town of 3,000 who have not been connected to the case.
Well, I think that, it's obvious that we all agree this is not the right place to do this, that, fairness would dictate that we move this case some distance away.
And the gag order, essentially remaining unchanged until Allen's bail hearing in February.
I don't know what we're allowed. I don't want to be violating any.
One bucket, what's
I
up?
want to go awry of the judge here.
Judge Fran Gull telling the courtroom that the amount of evidence the state over to the defense
Yes.
is, quote, extraordinarily vulnerable, should expect delays.
It's tough for him. I mean, we just spent 20, 30 minutes with Rick, and he misses his wife. He misses human connection with people. So it's been difficult for him.
The next time we see Richard Allen in court will be February 17th for his bond hearing. Libby, Abby's families were present today, looking resolute, holding their heads up high. We also saw Richard Allen's wife and daughter. Neither of them have ever said anything public about this case.
So, Sloan, as we said at the top of this, 5 years of searching.
Long
so remind us
time.
all what led to his arrest in October.
Right. When we finally got to see the probable cause affidavit, we learned that there was an unspent shell found near the girls' bodies. That could be forensically tied back to Richard Allen's gun. Now, he has said that he was on the trail with them that day, but claims that he has no connection whatsoever to the murders. Nicole.
All right, Sloan Glass live in Delphi. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNation Now.
And thank you for letting me know so I can pause it in time. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing tonight? What's up, Justice? Punksy? One bucket? Yo, yo, yo. Welcome, everybody. I haven't been feeling good. Oh, an ulcer. Ouch. Yeah, isn't that crazy, Kilt? You speak of her, and she arrives. Yes, everybody, I have a phone number for the podcast now. 812-250-8484. So if you don't like getting on the open panel, you're more than welcome to call in. I'm sorry you're not feeling good and an ulcer sucks, Punksy. Her calling one of the names she's so yes. I always love having Justice on. Are you crazy? I love having her on. She's so damn smart. Look at this. We're talking Delphi, Justice. It got denied. FBI profiler showed a lot of red flags. Yeah. Will be selected from outside Carroll County. Look at this. Our JLR. Gosh, I can't never say it right. Has a bunch of videos on Delphi too. Bunch of videos. Yes. I don't know. I never had an ulcer. I could just imagine. Yeah, if anybody's gonna call though, you got to give me a heads up because I have not figured out how to hear the phone ring while I'm on another tab. I actually have to be on the tab itself so far, unless anybody knows, because it's my first time using it, first time doing it. I tested it out earlier off the show. I'm hoping it works on the show, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it works, but we'll see. It would be a good test. I don't know. You'd be the first call ever. Thanks, guys. It takes like 4 days. Oh, you're on the 3rd. Okay. Oh my gosh. Punksy, you let me know, and we'll do it. You let me know, and I'm there, no matter what. You give me at least a day ahead or two, and then I'll make sure it'll have to be somewhere between 4:45 to 6:30 my time, if that's okay. Or on the weekend, it can be whenever on a weekend. So anytime on the weekend, just give me a heads up. If it's on a weeknight, I would say from 4:45 to 6:30 my time, I could help you out, because I can always adjust whatever. Don't let Pam have any cash. She just gives it away. Well, hopefully one of us wins the Mega Millions tonight. 1.35 billion. Someone call him so he can. Why don't you do it, SRB? Hey, ATS, how you doing tonight? Great live this morning. Got a little bit. We've been watching a little. We watched some Lisa Marie Presley. We watched a video about the new YouTube rules and monetization. And then we were checking out some Delphi stuff. Yeah, no problem, Punksy. Oh, I hope you're feeling better today. Nobody even has to. It's fine. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if anybody's not comfortable hopping up on open panel again, that's the podcast phone number. You're more than welcome to call. We can try it, and we can. Oh, it's whatever, Punksy. Seriously, it would be one night out of however many nights. You know what I'm saying? So even if it was a weeknight that you would have to do it, it's totally fine. I wouldn't be able to get home and have everything turned down until about 4:45, and then I could go up to 6:30, and I could skip prep for that night. It's totally fine. It's just one night that would be able to help you for many, many nights after that, so it's all good. Whatever you need. Yeah. Yeah. I'm wrestling with yeah. And look at that. Yeah, JRL's got a lot of videos on Delphi now. Interested to watch some of them tonight. Does hitting like... Oh, gosh. I'm almost to 200, though. I got up to 190. And then before I went live, it went to 189. So I don't... I was like, oh, shucks. We're slowly growing. 2020. I did see something about a 2020 special. Now, I found out I have 0 strikes. So I would like one night this weekend or something. I would like to try and play the 48-hour special on the Idaho 4 stuff. Now that I know that they're not strikes, I'm good. I have 0 strikes. That's why I'm doing sports Sunday afternoon. We're going to be talking football. We're going to be talking NASCAR. We're going to be talking basketball. Oh, yeah. And we're even going to talk about starting a NASCAR fantasy league. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be doing some sports. Definitely talking NFL playoff football, that's for sure. Definitely talking about football. Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that, ATS. One night we were going to strike out. No, I'm not attempting to. but I, I want to look. I was watching. It was so funny because I was watching Armchair Detective earlier, right? Because he was trying his. It was his first show. This shit was hilarious. It was his first show. It was like some show about what's trending or something, right? Like kind of like what we do, right? We kind of go through the subscriptions, see what's breaking, before we got dominated by all the Idaho Force stuff, from beginning to end. It was a lot of like mission to the moon and, viruses and, stories about mooses losing their antlers and, just weird stuff, just stuff that was out there. And it was funny because he started playing like movie trailers and stuff, and in my head I'm like, bro, you're gonna get shut down. And all of a sudden a minute later it was like boom, stream's been suspended. I was like, man, I told him. And then he popped back up, and then he started playing something about he was watching like Late Show with David Letterman and Stephen Colbert late night or whatever, like talk show stuff. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, bro, you're gonna get shut down. Like a minute later, boom, stream suspended. And then he gets back on and he's like, well, he goes, what I planned on doing ain't gonna work. I guess I got a lot more time to walk the dog. He said it was just a test. I was just seeing if it would happen. I'm like, man, there's different ways you can do it, man. Come on, try it again. Yeah. It is a fun age, They're like little adults. Their personalities are so huge when they're so small, it's a great time. It definitely is. You start to see their personalities that are there later on in life. It really just gets magnified at that age. It's so much fun. They're like little adults. It's so beautiful. It's great. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Horror. I'm just kind of go through. So this is the ABC 2020 that SRB brought up here.
A court hearing for the suspect in 4 Idaho.
Oh, God, I thought that was Steve Harvey for a second. I was like, what the hell is he doing on ABC? So this would probably get me. I can't play this. Can I, SRB? Could I play this? So could I play this 2020 special? Do you think I would get shut down for that?
Idaho college's murder has been delayed until June. Ryan Koberger's attorneys requested more time to review the evidence. The 4 students were found fatally stabbed in their off-campus home. ABC's Kana Whitworth joins us now with more on tonight's 2020 2-hour special on the shocking student murders in Idaho. Kana, you sat down with friends of the 4 victims. I can't imagine how they are feeling right now.
Yeah, John, I mean, it's heavy, of course. There was also times in our conversations, though, where we got a sense that they felt really good about being able to share stories about their loved ones. I mean, honestly, we laughed and we cried and we mourned together. But you hear from loved ones across the board. You're going to learn a lot more in this 2020
Comment.
about Ethan. You'll hear from his coaches, his friends.
Oh, wow,
And of
cool.
course, Kaylee and Madison Mogan's father sat down to talk with us. Really get a chance to learn about these 4 students and what they meant to their friends and the university and their entire community.
Yeah, you mentioned those family members. In the midst of their grief, they spoke with you. Now, is there some relief for them now that an arrest has been made?
You know what a lot of them said was that they did breathe a sigh of relief, if you will, but there's no turning back time. They know what they have to live with in the future and what they have to live without. And so while they're going back to school and they're going to finish this semester, right, and finish this year, and some of them will be graduating, they will be doing that with very heavy hearts, but they also are doing that in a very grateful way to the Moscow Police Department and to all of the authorities involved with this. But this is still far away, potentially years down the road here.
I wonder if they would have it in like little snippets and stuff instead of like the whole special, you know. There's a comet coming towards the Earth. I didn't hear about that. I didn't even see it on any of my videos. I'm kind of looking through them real quick to see if I see anything popping up. I didn't hear about a comet coming towards us when. Oh, that Olivia Chronicles of Olivia was on News Nation tonight. Huh. Let's see. It's passing by first time in 50,000 years. What? Huh, hold on. Let me look at my email here. Rare comet. Thank you, JSD. Let me see here. So as long as I pause it, it'll be all right. You watch earthquakes and volcanoes? Watch it? Interesting. Do you watch it on like a website or something? Thank you, ATS. That's crazy, though. We will be able to see it. We will? Will we? My gosh. Here, let me go to this article here. Click. Whoa, no, I don't want none of this. All right. Rare comet will pass Earth for first time in 50,000 years. How to watch and what it means for the past. When is it coming? Because I want to eat my peanut butter. How do I get rid of this? Get out of here. Punksy. If CJ and talks now and then would it? How often do I have to pause it though? Because I thought I was pausing the NFL one enough. But I guess not. What, like every 1 minute or something? Because I think I only let it go like 3 minutes. A comet will appear in the night sky for the first time since the last ice age, offering scientists a look at the progression of the solar system. Ooh, there it is right there. Comet C/2022 E3ZTF is seen flying through the sky. A bright green comet will pass by Earth for the first time in 50,000 years and will first pass by the Sun, arriving from the outer parts of the solar system, which is why it's taken thousands of years to return. And the last time that it came was the time Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens roamed the Earth. Whoa. The comet will be the closest. Man, they should hook some kind of like satellite up to that thing and just let it roll on and take footage the whole time. The comet will be the closest to Earth on, because they already landed on a asteroid or a comet or something and were able to plant something and shoot off. They already did that. I watched that live. I watch all that shit live. It's awesome. The NASA website. The comet will be the closest to Earth on February 1st and the closest to the Sun on January 12th. And although its brightness is unpredictable, by then it will only be visible to the naked eye in dark skies, so you better go out to the country. It's northbound, heading towards the constellation Corona Borealis, so for those in the northern hemisphere, will be visible on January 12th between the stars Vega and Arcturus just before midnight with the help of telescopes and binoculars. For first-time comet gazers, experts recommend looking out on February 10th when the comet will be close to Mars. Oh, wow. So February 10th, it will be close to Mars, and for those who want to try and capture a photo, the easiest way would be to take a long exposure pictures of 20 to 30 seconds, likely revealing a fuzzy object with a tail. The comet was discovered in March 2022 by astronomers using a wide field survey camera at the Samuel Ocean Robotic Telescope from the Zwicky Transient Facility in Southern California. Wow. And it didn't say how close it's supposed to come, though. Like, how close is it supposed to come to us? Just, it ain't even, it's going to be as far away as Mars. So it's going to be, so the comet's going in between the sun and Mars, pretty much. Huh. And they knew about it since March of 2022. Well, that's a good sign, right? So if maybe there is a comet that's coming towards our direction, we might have at least a year. Is that maybe why they're pushing for all this moon exploration and this Mars stuff? The top 3% are like, yo, I'm outie. I'm outie. Like, yeah, I'm $6 freaking bucks. The article just said January something. January, it says January 12th to go by the sun. It'll be visible January 12th. But it'll be closest to the Earth February 1st and closest to the sun on January 12th. But it will be visible on January 12th between these stars just before midnight with telescopes and binoculars. And then on February 10th, the comet will be close to Mars and not the sun. So you'll be able to see it next to it, but you have to take a specific. So yeah, so it sounds like it's going between the sun and Earth, or I mean the sun and Mars. Thank you for that. Oh yeah, you know what? We did. I forgot we were going to watch this Brian Enton video here at the end of the show last night, and I ended up having to end it because we went long anyway. I wish I had a telescope. I loved having one. Stayed on the 10. That's what. Oh, hey, and you know what? You're probably going to have a lot better view too because you'd be higher up in the elevation, and it's less populated in that side of the world or the country. You know, that mountain area. Oh, bacon sounds so good. Now I have to dig out. Thank you, ATS. Yeah, this is neat. Thank you, Justice. You need those big calendars since my husband retired. We were both lost in time. Oh, yeah. Dang, that was a good article. Thank you. Right, let me see if there's anything crazy breaking. Otherwise, yeah, that Chronicles of Olivia is on News Nation tonight. Let me see. I'll go to that video here real quick while we see what else is out there. Thank you, Justice.
TikToker,
Okay.
filmmaker, real estate agent, Olivia Vitale joins us now. Olivia, thank you for taking the opportunity.
Thank you for having me on your show, Chris.
So what brand of Italian is your family? Do they go with Vitale? Do they go with Vitali? Do they go with Vital? How do they say their last name?
Vitali or Vital, either one is fine.
They're always messing up our names, the Italian names. But, you know, good for you, except
Yeah.
I think you sold yourself short there a little bit, and I want to address that because I've talked to Mr. Gonsalves, and we've dealt with his family a good amount. They have trust issues when it comes to this investigation. It started very early on, and it's not unusual for a victim's family, and it may have been exacerbated here by time and not knowing certain things and not getting information that started to come from outside sources, including you, and you've developed quite the bond with them as a result, right?
Yes, a few weeks ago, Steve reached out to me, and it turns out that Kaylee followed me on TikTok, and she watched my videos and shared them with her family. So this is a personal connection, and we've been in touch in the past few weeks, and they welcomed me into their home, and it's been an honor to meet them and help bring awareness to their daughter's case.
Whoa.
And people will hear that and say, wait, how did Kaylee follow her and watch her videos about her own murder? No, you started with Gabby Petito, and you did some field work on it. You went down into different locations that were relevant. You found a water bottle that you believe and the family believes may have belonged to Gabby, and that was very meaningful to the family. And that's what Kaylee and many others were paying attention to. How surprised were you, and how quick was the growth of your following that is now over 1 million?
It was pretty surprising. It happened fairly quickly, and it just seems like it's my calling to help missing people and victims and their families.
Now, what is your skill set? How do you know how to find anything that's going on? To go down and walk around in a field and find a water bottle, which is a great little piece of personal industry. But what do you bring to the table, and how did you develop those skills?
Well, one thing I do bring to the table is bringing awareness to cases. With my following, I have a lot of exposure, and all it takes at the end of the day is for one person who might have seen something to see possibly what and noting and call the tip line. And that's what I can do, is just bring awareness and help cases that are slowly dying or becoming cold get the exposure that they need.
Why? Why true crime? Why are you one of these new sleuthers? What is it about these? You could be obsessed with so many different things in our culture as a pursuit when you're not selling real estate. Why this?
True crime is something important to me because it's about helping and making an impact in the world. I feel like it's my duty, and this gives me passion. It gives me something to live for, and just to feel like I'm making an impact in the world.
You said in one of your descriptions in the documentary that you and Mr. Gonsalves shared a moment when the suspect's picture came out, and you both said, "This is the guy. This is the man." Do you believe that? Do you believe that this is the person responsible? And do the Gonsalves family and/or you share any questions about anybody else being involved, or the question maybe not being as solid as is assumed?
Personally, I do believe that the suspect, Brian Kohberger, is responsible. I can't speak on behalf of the Gonsalves family, but I personally think it is Brian. As of now, I believe that he was the only one who did this, but again, it's the early stages and we're not sure exactly.
What is your biggest question that remains that hasn't been answered?
My biggest question is, why did he do this? And did he ever meet any of the victims in passing, possibly at a restaurant? We know that Zaina and Maddie worked at the Mad Greek. They had vegan options. Brian Koberger was vegan. It's possible that maybe he met the girl at a
I just put the link in chat to the interview that Kib Kitty and she is referencing. This I'll show the screen real quick too. I want to thank you for the link, Kib Kitty. Thank you for the link. This is the link for this video right here. Exclusive documentary. Shocking revelations and bittersweet memories shared. It's a 48-minute watch, so we won't be watching this on the show. But that is the link, and I'm going to definitely watch it after the show. So if you'd like to, go ahead and click on it and add it to your playlist and hop on back over. But yeah, that's what it's referring to.
the bar because there's so many unanswered questions, and I believe that there is a moment in time when their paths cross. It's very possible, and that's the question that I have. Did they ever meet in passing?
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com.
Yeah, thank you for that, Kib Kitty. I appreciate that. Oh, crap. Where's my... There it is. Okay, so we'll go back to here. So I was at 2020. All right, I want to see this CVS here. We haven't watched JLR for a while. And then I do want to get into some Anna Walsh. Let me see here. Let me see what all he has here. Live from Delphi. All right. We'll just go to this one. I want to see this CVS. So let me click on the creator link real quick so I can show that while we're watching this video. Here's this video. If you'd like the link, let me know.
I am in Delphi, Indiana. The CVS is behind me. Why am I in front of the CVS in Delphi, Indiana? Well, Richard Allen. The Richard Allen case, the Delphi murders that happened February 13th, 2017. Richard Allen, the suspect that has been arrested in connection with the murders of Abigail and Libby, worked at this CVS in Delphi. And I'm actually going to take a tour inside CVS. Maybe I talk to somebody, maybe I don't, but I'm going to show you what CVS looks like inside where Richard Allen worked. I also want to show you something here at the front of the CVS that I thought was interesting. Richard Allen just got arrested a few months ago, and I want to show you this. Look at this. They are hiring. They're hiring shift supervisor, nights and weekends, apply. So they are hiring.
They always have them water bottles out front too. Where's the sound, man? What happened to the sound? It just says subscribe to my channel. Where's the sound? Am I missing something here?
Or I didn't really want to.
Okay. It's a freaking CVS. That's it.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the tour. I didn't really want to ask anyone anything. I just wanted to take a brief walk through where Richard Allen worked. It's right next to a McDonald's. I am in Delphi, Indiana, covering this case. Maybe that's important to some of you people to see where.
Okay, I don't know. I just thought that was something different. Sorry. Sorry. I don't know. It was just a walkthrough, I guess. I thought there was like some kind of, I don't know. Just thought it might be interesting. All right. We watched that. We already know that. Okay. Ex-FBI agent. We're going to switch to some Anna Walsh. Maybe. Maybe it was the music and it was copyright. Maybe. Let's hear this ex-FBI agent. Who is this guy? I always have to ask. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. We might run across him. He's a lot.
A
He's a
missing
lot
mother,
of,
meanwhile, in Massachusetts,
lot of different
once feared her
personas.
husband so much that she called the police, and that was before the couple was ever married. The incident happened nearly a decade ago when Anna Walsh reported her now husband threatened to kill her and a friend. The case went nowhere after she refused to
I don't even
cooperate
know.
with prosecutors.
What are you guys talking about in chat about gained a ton more viewers and because of a hookup? What? I don't even know who that. I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who that is.
The incident happened nearly
Look
a
at that
decade
guy's
ago.
face. What? He's just.
And that was before the couple was ever married.
I didn't even notice
A
it.
missing mother, meanwhile, in Massachusetts, once feared her husband so much that she called the police.
One second. Wow.
And that was before the couple was ever married. The incident happened nearly a decade ago when Anna reported that her now husband threatened to kill her and a friend. The case went nowhere after she refused to cooperate with the prosecutors. Brian Walsh is under arrest now, accused of misleading investigators about his wife's disappearance. It adds to the damning evidence investigators are piling up against the husband, which includes a knife, a hatchet, and traces of blood. But with investigators unable to say for Walsh, victim of a crime, the evidence in this case still remains circumstantial. Let's bring in Nicole Parker, former FBI special agent in the Miami field office. Over more than a decade at that agency, she investigated everything from homicides to sex crimes, kidnappings, and human trafficking. She was a special agent on scene to investigate many high-profile cases, including the shooting rampage at the Parkland, Florida, as well as the mass shooting at the Fort Lauderdale airport back in 2017. The interrogation she's conducted and her testimony in court has led to countless convictions, and we appreciate you joining us now. Nicole, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good to have you here. We're going to talk about your piece.
Sure.
It's gotten a lot of attention on FoxNews.com. You've written specifically about why you decided to leave the FBI. But first to this case, where now we have this picture of this woman since her disappearance with a bruise on her face. We know that there was evidence that she once was threatened by her husband, then did not cooperate with authorities in the investigation. What do we know about this really bizarre case where there seems to have been a lot of red flags along the way?
There are absolutely a lot of red flags. A lot of times when we're looking at investigations and solving these types of cases, we're going to look at the historical behavior of the individual. Brian,
Pam, if you're talking about Anna, no, I don't think she was. I don't think she was.
clearly had a history based on this new information coming out that he had been abusive to her. She had actually contacted law enforcement herself.
I want to point this out because our producers are telling us these are brand new photos that we've received of the couple, obviously in a different time. There's wedding pictures that Fox Digital was just able to obtain. Continue.
Wow, excellent. So looking at the pictures that I see on the screen, one of those calls to law enforcement was actually before she was married to that individual, to Brian. And she, contacted law enforcement and chose not to press charges. That's actually something that I've seen in several situations where they contact law enforcement, but then they end up backing off and they proceed in the relationship. That history of threats, if someone's going to behave that way, Patterns of behavior determine future behavior. So it wouldn't be shocking that he committed this crime if he had made that threat in the past.
And now the investigation reveals evidence reportedly found in the mother-in-law's trash, including trash bags with blood, a hatchet and a hacksaw, used cleaning supplies, which we continue to learn more about how much of it was found. With all of this evidence, how has this person not been brought to this?
You know, I think it's just a
This
matter
is a
of
good
time.
video.
They're probably waiting for lab results to come back. I'm sure
Here,
they
I'll
tested lab
post the
DNA,
link.
things of that sort.
This
When you're
is a
going to
good
charge
video.
a case, you want to make sure that it's rock
Good
solid.
night, Punksy.
And really, that's up to the
Appreciate you.
prosecution team. Law enforcement provides the evidence to the prosecution, and it's when they think that it's right to charge the case. But I would think that it would be soon in this investigation.
In your time at the FBI, I mean, you have seen countless cases where it looks like a perfectly happy, look at these pictures. It looked like a perfect happy couple.
Right. You know, you say pictures are worth 1,000 words, but anyone can put a smile on. A lot of times people don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I don't know if you recall, but in this case, she had wanted her mother to visit her recently, right before it occurred. A lot of times there's things going on behind the scenes that you don't actually see. But when you're an investigator, you go back and you look at the digital evidence, their text messages, their phone calls, their Instagram, their emails, and that usually shows a pattern of behavior and things that were actually going on that.
What 911 call are you referring to, Kib Kitty? Yes, hope you feel better, Punksy. Day 4 tomorrow. Day 4 is tomorrow.
You don't see on the outside.
And that can be incredibly telling. So we'll continue to watch where all of that goes. And I want to bring up your piece that you have published. It's on .com right now, foxnews.com. And you talk about why you left the FBI. 3 months ago, you say you walked away from the FBI and the career you once loved, and why you felt you had to leave. In it, you say the FBI became politically weaponized, starting from the top in Washington and trickling down to the field offices, distancing myself from egregious mistakes, immoral behavior, and politically charged actions taken by a small but destructive few FBI employees became exhausting, you write. Although I was always treated with the highest level of respect in the Miami division, you say you no longer felt that you were the type of agent the FBI valued. That is a huge statement. What did you see happening there?
That is a huge statement, and I would like to make a very, very clear discrepancy. There are so many amazing people doing amazing work at the FBI, but at the end of the day, we report to the higher ups. So when you, when things continue to happen that don't appear to be fair, and it's very clear and obvious, and I think Americans have seen this one thing after another. There's been a lot of politicization at the FBI, and that is very, very dangerous for the FBI because we want to be fair and we want to have the American trust. I think that all Americans want the FBI to be fair. It shouldn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. The truth is the truth, and we need to conduct investigations fairly. And I would tell you that about 99.9% of the employees at the FBI are operating under that. But it just takes a small few to kind of, you know, we have to explain ourselves to everyone because of the actions of a small few. And it has become exhausting because, you know, when you're having to go out and do investigations, you need the buy-in of the Americans. You need their trust in order to conduct your cases. You've got to conduct interviews. You need witnesses. You need people that really want to cooperate and help the FBI. It's so important. And, you know, we need to make sure that we are the FBI that Americans love, respect, and trust. And I can tell you that most people at the FBI are, but we really need to make sure that we're standing strong.
And I'll ask you if you believe that the ship can be righted based on where you believe it is today, and losing valued employees like you can be, I know you write about that in your piece. You talk about how the credibility damage at the FBI is leading to a lot of problems, including recruitment. We need the best and the brightest talent to be working inside of the FBI. And if that's not happening, things can dramatically change.
Absolutely, 100% agree with that. It is so crucial that you have quality employees. And like I said, there are so many quality employees. And I do think that this is something that can, with a few minor tweaks, that we can change.
Minor tweaks?
Well, I would say that the FBI, we work in partnership with the Department of Justice. So like I said, we report into the Department of Justice at the end of the day. Yeah. And it's a partnership, but I do believe that with some strong leadership and maybe reevaluating, self-reflecting, and looking at some things that have happened, if we can take a look and make some adjustments and be the FBI that Americans deserve, be trustworthy, be fair, and be impartial and be unbiased and have no politicization in our investigations, we can absolutely right this ship.
Well, you are incredibly skilled, and
What
your
a great
past
video.
Your resume is amazing, and you've been involved with some of the highest level investigations there. And to have you here to talk about this is really key for us. Thank you for being here. And the piece is on .com right now, and just a small theory about why this has gone so viral and why so many people are reading it. Perhaps it's confirming so many suspicions for Americans who have lost that faith in the FBI, but Americans are a hopeful group of people. And I believe they, to your point, believe that it can get better and that it's made. And you're confirming that.
Absolutely. And like I said, all the people that I know, we are doing fair, honest, true investigations, protecting Americans. And we need to rest of good people holding the line.
Good to have you here, Nicole Parker. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilman.
Damn, came out swinging with some fucking home runs there. Holy shit. All right, this is that link from SRB. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. Fight over estate of Brian Walsh's father reveals troubling accusations. Interesting. Let me see here. I'll put the link to the article in chat, so if you'd like to have it as well. Oh, it's got a video? I hereby I don't even know how to bequeath to Brian R. Walsh my best wishes, but nothing else from my estate. Right here it says,
before and bath fitter. Now's the time.
And bath fitter. I haven't. I just don't see how that can seal up properly. But that's just me. Is it going to play?
I hereby bequeath to Brian R. Walsh my best wishes, but nothing else from my estate. The words of Dr. Thomas Walsh, the father of Brian Walsh, cutting his only son out of his will. It turned into a bitter dispute
Wow, his only
that until
son.
now played out quietly in Plymouth Probate Court. It's now offering new insight into the man at the center of international attention. Brian was and is only interested in getting his father's money, wrote a longtime friend of Dr. Walsh. Brian is accused of taking the will out of his father's house in Hull and destroying it, and then selling the contents of the home, including jewelry, a car, and paintings, including an original Salvador Dali. But a friend of Dr. Walsh's had taken a picture of the will and intervened to stop Brian from selling the waterfront home by explaining why Dr. Walsh disinherited his son. Dr. Walsh left the family when Brian was young, leaving what one friend said was a severely dysfunctional and hostile environment. The friend suggested further problems, writing, Brian had been a long-term patient at Austin Riggs Center Psychiatric Hospital.
What?
He was diagnosed as a sociopath, and this would never change.
Whoa.
The most recent rift occurred at least 10 years before Dr. Walsh's death. Brian stealing around $800,000 from his father from a home refinance. And it was more than theft, another friend wrote. I saw Brian attempt to smuggle out antiquities from China. When Brian was confronted, he picked up a stanchion and literally attempted to kill 4 or 5 guards.
Whoa.
Brian is not only a sociopath, but also a very angry and physically violent person. Brian Walsh had claimed in the court documents that he and his father had reunited and that his father wanted to live with him and his family. But Dr. Walsh's friends say that couldn't be further from the truth. In the newsroom, Karen Anderson, 5 Investigate.
Wow. So His friend took a cell phone picture of it. Walsh is accused of destroying the will. So the only reason the world knows that the father of Brian Walsh left a will is that a friend took a cell phone picture of it. Walsh is accused of destroying the will, which spells out in writing that he had been essentially disinherited by his father. Until now, the dispute over the will and the estate had played out quietly in Plymouth Probate Court, but now with Walsh at the center of international attention and behind bars related to his wife, Brian was and is only interested in getting his father's money, wrote Dr. Fred Pescatore, a longtime friend of Dr. Thomas Walsh, in an affidavit. Brian is accused of taking the will out of his father's house in Hull and destroying it, and then selling the contents of the home, including jewelry, a car, and artwork, including an original Salvador Dali painting. Dude has a sketchy past. Holy crap. This guy just blows my mind. Right. And then the way that he was smiling walking out. What the, like... It like brought the movie Batman to my head, like Joker was walking out of... Was that Arkham Asylum or something? Wow. Well, yeah, if he was scheming like this on all sorts of stuff, you wonder, what was it, a life insurance? So a friend had took a picture of the will along with a nephew. Ornstein and Pescatore's court filings worked to stop Brian from selling Dr. Walsh's waterfront home and sought an accounting of what happened to the items inside it. The document also offers an explanation for why Dr. Walsh disinherited his son. Dr. Walsh left a family when Brian was young, a family that was a severely dysfunctional and hostile environment, Ornstein wrote. Ornstein mentioned further problems. Brian had been a long-term patient at Austin Riggs Center Psychiatric Hospital. He was diagnosed as a sociopath, and this would never change. Both referred to a more recent rift about 10 years before Dr. Walsh's death, where Dr. Walsh said Brian stole about $800,000 from his father during a home refinance deal. And friends also wrote that Brian's troubles weren't limited to theft. I even went on a trip to China with Brian and Tom and my partner at the time. I witnessed firsthand what Brian was capable of. I saw Brian attempt to smuggle out antiquities from China. Okay, yeah, we saw that. Wow. And then the way he was walking out, you know. It's crazy. This is a new video from News Nation. I'm sorry, Kelt, but it's got a lot of panelists up there, and they're talking. So he won't be talking that much.
In the news, the court that
Wow,
WSU,
long-term
which is
patient.
where the
Isn't that
suspect was
interesting?
doing his doctoral work, his PhD work in criminology, has a pilot program where they look at and take in feeds of body cam footage from law enforcement while it's happening and assess it for different types of understanding of judgments made, etc., that we don't get to see. And because this suspect is there, maybe he had access to it. If so, Jennifer Coffindaffer, what challenge would that pose?
Well, it gives him a window into what was happening there without having to physically go there. So what a mess, right? That he could actually have seen all the things going on there from this body cam footage in real time. So if in fact he had access.
See, Jennifer asks the right question, right? She hits the if very hard at the end of the statement. And Larry Kobylinski, I bounce it to you because I don't believe he did, because in the same reporting, and this is a media problem, they love that temptation. Oh, they have this pilot program, he could have. In the same piece, they say near the bottom, of course, that the Moscow Police Department, who did the body camera work in this situation, do not offer their feed to WSU. So I don't know how he could have, because they're not even part of the program. And what is your feeling about this issue in general, Professor Kobylinski?
He's a one semester student in that PhD program, and in order to see those body cam videos, you need to fill out an application. You need approval, and it's not clear that he ever applied.
Crazy.
Even if he did, he couldn't possibly have seen any videos from the Moscow Police Department. Most courses, PhD level courses in this field, in criminology, do not even offer anything like this. So I think there's potential. If he did see it, it could be important, but he certainly didn't see anything relevant to this particular case.
Right. It's just one of those things that's tantalizing, but not necessarily something that you can hold as a real contention. And this happens in these investigations, but it's important to put it out there because it's out there, and then shoot it down if need be. Now, there's something that isn't out there that is becoming a growing obsession for me, and certainly Counselor Garagos, is there's a lot to establish in this timeline, and if they cannot establish it in this timeline, in the critical timeline, meaning in those 4 o'clock in the morning hour when the murders are thought to have occurred, including where they can place the suspect and when, and this DoorDash phenomenon. So, Mark, here's the legwork that Dusty and the team did. Is DoorDash available in the area? Yes. Did she use DoorDash? Yes. Can I see Mark? I get tired of my own face. Did she call a place that delivered anything at 4 o'clock in the morning? Yes. Jack in the Box, which has since closed. I don't know why people think that's mysterious, but they were open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So she could have ordered from Jack in the Box as there, but that person is still of fundamental importance here, whether they had involvement or not. The timeline, the DoorDash, go.
And by the way, they've interviewed the DoorDash person. I don't know why they say they've already cleared him or her, but that was the statement, at least, that they put out. I don't know that that isn't something that right now the defense isn't looking at. And I'll tell you, when you take the timeline and then you take the closing or the sealing of the warrant on his apartment, the accused, the defendant's apartment, Brian's apartment, and the fact that they're saying that that is something that they did because they're afraid that it may intimidate law enforcement. I can tell you, less than one hand, the number of times in 40 years, I've seen a sealing application that says we're sealing this because we're worried about threats to law enforcement. I've been involved in enough high-profile cases to tell you that is highly unusual, and that, to me, leads me to believe, at least, that maybe they got out over their skis.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm going to play that again because it's interesting what they came out with the statement about there's concerns for the witnesses, the victims, and the victims' families, and, I want to hear that again real quick.
Yes, Jack in the Box, which has since closed. I don't know why people think that's mysterious, but they were open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So she could have ordered from Jack in the Box as there, but that person is still of fundamental importance here, whether they had involvement or not. The timeline, the DoorDash, go.
And by the way, they've interviewed the DoorDash person. I don't know why they say they've already cleared him or her, but that was the statement, at least, that they put out. I don't know that That isn't something that right now the defense isn't looking at. And I'll tell you, when you take the timeline and then you take the closing or the sealing of the warrant on his apartment, the accused, the defendant's apartment, Brian's apartment, and the fact that they're saying that that is something that they did because they're afraid that it may intimidate law enforcement. I can tell you, less than one hand the number of times in 40 years I've seen a sealing application that says we're sealing this because we're worried about threats to law enforcement. I've been involved in enough high-profile cases to tell you that is highly unusual, and that to me leads me to believe at least that
like there was a plan for other people. And I'm wondering, okay. So Ellie comes out and says that they're keeping the search for his apartment, the vehicle, all that stuff. We ain't gonna find nothing, right? And they're not releasing some things because of the concern for the witnesses, the victims, and the victims' families. So I'm wondering, the parents, Kaylee's parents, in an interview, they were both sitting outside one time. They were sitting outside. Mom was sitting to the left. Dad was sitting to the right. And Mom brought up about a piece of mail. And then Dad said mail related. And that they signed it over, turned it over to Moscow PD. So that way, because they felt it was relevant to the case. And I'm wondering if there was some kind of connection between that piece of mail and the apartment. Because why would, just like he's saying, it's very unusual for them to come out and say it's for concerns of other people. Very weird. All right, I want to go to this Brian Enton video from last night after he got done with News Nation. We were ending the show with it last night. Didn't really check it out. I do want to check it out here real quick. Yeah, so I'm wondering if that mail, I want to know what that piece of mail was. And I'm wondering if it's tied in with the apartment and maybe something from the apartment was mailed to the family's house and then they turned it in. I don't know. All right, let me see here. We'll go to Brian Enton. Check it out. Yeah, never. Just nothing, anything, nothing more. I'm surprised the parents didn't say something.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to get on here, kind of update you guys on the day.
That's when they were talking
following along earlier. Just kind of give you guys the update. I think most people probably were following things today, though. We're outside the courthouse still. We still have to do one more live shot for Banfield tonight. Although breaking news with Lisa Marie Presley. I don't know if we'll still be on tonight, but our time might get pushed back a little bit. But basically, there was the status hearing this morning. We were here early this morning for Brian Kohberger. The gist of it is the defense asked for the preliminary hearing to be in June, at the end of June. The prosecution agreed. So the next court hearing will be at the end of June. I believe it's June 26th. I tweeted the exact date.
Man, that's
and that'll be the preliminary hearing. It's going to be kind of a big deal. It's expected to last about a week. It's almost like a mini trial.
Wow.
Because they'll present a ton of evidence. There'll be witnesses. And
dang,
you
that
may
win.
hear from the surviving roommate who Police say saw the killer. So that'll be a pretty big deal, but it's not going to be happening until June. So we were sort of under the assumption that it might happen sooner, because normally it has to be within 14 days of the arrest. But Brian Kohberger waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. So it will now be in June. That's what the defense wants. The public defender, obviously, there's a lot for her to go through. All the evidence. She filed a motion to get all the discovery, so she'll be able to do all of that over the next 6 months, and then the preliminary hearing will happen. So just reading some of your comments here. It's really rainy here in Moscow.
Wow, yeah, you can hear it.
Yeah, the preliminary hearing will be filmed. We think, because the rules so far have been that we're allowed to have cameras in court. It'll be a little tricky though, because right now they're not allowing us to live stream, so we can just record the hearing and then play it back afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
Which hasn't been such a big deal with these because they've been pretty short so far. But
Bro, sit in the car.
Hearing all day, it's going to be a little more tricky for us covering it.
Oh, sit in the car, bro.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back for the preliminary hearing. We will, yeah, some of you are asking, will News Nation keep following this closely? Oh yeah, we're going to keep following it really closely. Obviously, Banfield is all over it every night. I've been here for almost...
Sit in the car.
I'm going to go home.
What are you doing, man?
Tomorrow, just because I haven't been home in like 2 weeks.
He's always gone from
things
home.
are going to kind of slow down right now, so I'm going to go home tomorrow, but we'll still be all over it.
June 26th. June 26th. Man.
Some of you are talking about Lisa Marie. Yeah, if you put on News Nation now, they're covering it, and Banfield's going to cover it at the top of her show, which starts at 10 Eastern. So I'm actually going to get in the car. It's really cool. This is Mo.
Yeah, get in the car, dude.
He's just finishing setting up for our last live shot.
Yeah, get in the car. Please. That wind is brutal. Oh. Jeez. Thank you.
I'm on my live stream.
There we go.
So don't say anything that we wouldn't normally say. So let me read some of you. Did he get in a fight in jail? No, not that we know of.
Breeze talk, man.
A lot of you noticed. I didn't even notice the scratches on his face. So I was in the third row. Lauren and I were in the third.
Just go like we're live. Don't shh. Okay.
Row, sitting right behind Kohberger. And I didn't notice the scratches just because of the angle that I could see of him. But then right afterwards, when we looked at the video, saw the scratches, and then pretty quickly confirmed with the sheriff that it was, the sheriff says, a shaving incident. I guess he cut himself shaving this morning before court. So Luis is back in Miami. We'll be reunited with Luis soon, but he was kind of on vacation at the beginning of this. So, but Mo's great. So we've had a good time with Mo covering it. I shouldn't say good time, but you know what I mean? He's been good to work with. Yeah, they'll let the public in the preliminary hearing. Yep. Has anyone reached out to Catherine Ramsland for comment? I have. She told me that she was not going to be commenting right now. And for those of you who forgot, Catherine Ramsland is the professor at...
Yes, she's probably going to be a witness, I imagine. She's probably going to be a witness, so she can't say nothing. And you won't hear from her. That's just what I'm thinking.
Dales University in Pennsylvania, who taught Kohberger and was also the professor who helped BTK write his autobiography. But no, she's not commenting right now. Yeah, I'm going to go home. We're going to go home tomorrow. But we'll be back. Like, we're just going to go home, kind of reset. We've got another story that we're going to start working on. I've got some other stories that I've kind of put on the back burner just because we've been so busy with this. but we'll still be monitoring this very closely. Obviously, we'll be back for the preliminary hearing, so I'll be in touch with all the families and everything, but I am going to go back to Florida tomorrow. His demeanor today. So he came in, didn't look at the gallery, like, so we didn't make eye contact with him or anything. Looked straight at the judge, always seems very aware of what's going on, talked to his lawyer. Lauren thought he seemed, what was the word you used? Fidgety. And one of our other reporter friends who we just went had some food with was saying that he thought the same thing, that he seemed kind of like different today, like a little more tired, I think. Is that what?
Yeah, he looked like defeated.
I didn't sense that quite as much. I did think he looked skinnier.
Yeah, I thought so too. He looked skinnier than the first picture.
So some of you asking, can I quickly explain the preliminary hearing again? Okay, so the preliminary hearing is when basically the prosecution has to.
And to me, excuse me, to me it looks like he just literally got out of the shower right before he threw the clothes on and went into the court, like literally within minutes. It looked like dude just got done showering and shaving within minutes. And I mean, gosh, I can imagine how much the kind of razors that you get, I can imagine. I'm surprised nobody wiped his face off, But it looked like he just got done getting out of the shower real quick. Like it was a whole rush job or something. Like nobody was prepared. The prosecutor wasn't prepared because he hadn't even talked to the public defender. He's like, sorry, we've been so busy. I haven't had a chance to get with her about, a date for. And it's like it's been a week and you haven't even had a chance to make a 5-minute phone call. I find that odd. Okay. And then it looked like he just got right out of the shower, threw clothes on, and was entered in the courtroom.
To present everything in the probable cause and defend it, and the defense can question it and call witnesses. It's kind of like a mini trial.
You never
is the
heard
way it's
about
been
the
described
mail?
to me. So it's estimated that
You never heard about the mail, Kel? The mail that Kaylee's parents talked about in an interview? I think it was Fox News. I think it was a Fox News interview. I can go through my old folder. But yeah. So the lawyer actually feels like the 6 month will be a big advantage. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, they could have totally threw him off because they didn't get a chance to talk. Like he was saying to the judge, he was like, we would really like to have July, but if the court is asking for June, then we can go ahead and, oblige or whatever. And if they would have went the speedy trial, can you imagine if they were wanting to July, right? Which is not normal, okay, right? Because usually it's like what, 2 or 3 months? 2 or 3 months on average, right? And this prosecutor was wanting 6 months. So if that is not telling you this dude, this is why last night I said I'm nervous that they're not going to be prepared. If you're wanting till July and the average is 2 to 3 months, and you lucked out because the public defender was asking for June, so then what happens if you do a speedy trial? They have to do 6 months of work in a really short freaking period of time. I'm wondering if she's regretting that choice because she didn't know that they needed until July because he hadn't reached out to her. Because she ain't reaching out to him. She don't want to seem vulnerable. She don't want to seem like feel like letting them feel like they have the more poker chips. So she ain't reaching out to them. They're going to reach out to her. I don't know. It's it. I'm going to have to watch that video again sometime because it was, man, can we have July? We'd really like July. And I'm going, what?
This one will go on for 4 to 5 days and we'll learn new information. And there'll also be witnesses that will be called. And that's also, this is important, that's also when Kohberger will officially either plead guilty or not guilty. So that'll be happening at the end of June. So we actually went to Washington State University yesterday, and I haven't really talked about this yet because we didn't include it in any of our stories yesterday, but we went there. So we went to the Department of Criminology. It's in the basement of, I forget the name of the building. It's right near the quad. It's like, open to the public. We went down there. I was going to try to talk to some students that maybe had him as he was teaching classes there. We couldn't find anyone.
That'd be cool.
But I did find his office, and it's closed off right now. I think it was room 12. And they've got it closed off, and there's a bunch of signs all over the place, basically like telling media to call this media hotline. But it was kind of eerie in there. I was telling Lauren, we were both kind of walking around just because to think about that he was coming in and out of that building so much. And you could tell with the students there at Washington State University, they're still freaked out. Wouldn't you say, Lauren?
Yeah, it's a little more uneasy.
Like an uneasy,
yeah.
And I think that just people are still processing that he, was a student there. So yeah, definitely no bail. The judge again today said no bail.
I know it's like,
how many people in Moscow jail right now?
I mean, at first SRB, all of them were coming out saying it's slam dunk, it's solid, and then now over the last week, now there's a couple that are starting to, kind of flip the script and go, yeah, you can poke holes at this, at this, at this. The one that the person that I hold the most, I hold number one when it comes to my respect for their opinion is Scott Reich from Crime Talk. So if he, feels this way and this way and this way about evidence and about circumstances and about opportunities and about doubt and all that other stuff, I'm totally listening to him over any of these people on Fox News or News Nation or any of that, because they're on there as a guest, so they're out there, and sometimes they say some crazy ass shit. We've already seen that, a bunch, but with Scott Reich, it's always logical, it's always to the point, it's always informative, and it's always spot on. So however he feels, that's pretty much how I feel. And we feel a lot of the same.
I haven't checked
but
booking bladder today. One day when I checked, I think it was last week, I think there was like 19.
Yeah, they're very few.
Yeah, it's very small. It's a small jail. You're right, he was not handcuffed. I noticed that today too. He was not handcuffed in court. So, but there are a lot of sheriff's deputies in there. It's our understanding he will stay in the Moscow jail. Some of you asking what my next story will be. So I'll still be staying on this. We do have something I'm not really ready to talk about yet, but it has to do with another case we've been covering that I've been working on kind of in the background. So hopefully we can get that story going next week. And then the Murdoch trial, right?
Yeah.
That's coming up too. So I didn't notice if he had shackles. Did you, Lauren? He didn't seem to be shuffling, but I'm assuming you probably did.
I didn't see.
I didn't hear nothing
I
either.
noticed he was walking very slowly.
It was good Idaho
which
or
kind of
audio.
alluded to the fact that maybe he was wearing shackles.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't see it.
Just reading all your comments.
That's, I don't know. Let me see. What else you got, man? I didn't think I seen shackles though. That is a good question. Did you guys notice anything?
So thank you everybody for following me.
All right, that's about it there. All right, the next video I'm gonna hit up is this one right here. Social media users thought they saw Idaho suspect at vigil. TV crew debunk claim with new video. So I think this is going to be a good video to play for everybody because it refers to that one picture of that gentleman walking sideways. We kind of went back and forth with it. We'll see what happens here.
The man charged with first-degree murder and the stabbings of the University of Idaho students in November back in court while police continue to seek any new information about Bryan Kohberger. Our national correspondent Gary Tuchman is in Moscow, Idaho this morning. Gary, good morning to you. What are you learning about Bryan Kohberger?
Don, good morning. Bryan Kohberger remains in this county jail here in Moscow, Idaho. We saw him in court yesterday for a status hearing. He waived his right to a speedy trial, so we won't see him in court again until his preliminary hearing at the end of June. All over the world, people are following this case closely, but for some, it's become rather all-consuming. Police and prosecutors are being required to stay quiet outside the courtroom about the University of Idaho murder case. But on the internet, there is no such prohibition.
We have uncovered what we believe are some old writings of Bryan Kohberger.
And most of it on TikTok, Facebook, and other places is speculation and hypothesizing.
The evening following the murders, Kohberger's phone was pinged in Johnson, Idaho, which is 3 hours away from Moscow and conveniently next to a national forest.
How prevalent is internet sleuthing? Consider this. This Facebook group, University of Idaho Murders Case Discussion, has more than 225,000 followers. And this is just one of many groups discussing and hypothesizing about this case online. Prior to the arrest of Bryan Kohberger, a user who goes by Papa Roger was a prolific contributor on the site, with many creepy and insensitive posts, and what turned out to be incorrect speculation, such as the white Elantra is a red herring. But he also declared, of the evidence released, the murder weapon has been consistent as a fixed-blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath. The fact that he got the detail correct about the sheath, despite getting so much else wrong, is one of several reasons many on social media think Papa Roger was Kohberger. This person saying, I really think Papa Roger was BK, Kohberger's initials. And this person, okay, this Papa Roger stuff is wild. How would anyone besides him know some of this? Very unsettling. There is no indication Facebook or the police believe Papa Roger, who is no longer in the group, is Kohberger. Then there is this video taken at an Idaho prayer vigil for the 4 murder victims prior to Kohberger's arrest, with many people hypothesizing online.
People think that the Idaho murderer attended his victim's vigil.
This person commenting, Bryan Kohberger spotted, prayer vigil, Moscow, Idaho.
Oh, look at that.
And this person, sure looks like the psycho, but a TV crew from the news magazine Inside Edition was at the vigil and has videotaped the man close up. It's definitely not Kohberger. We are not showing his face to protect his identity. And then there is this.
A lot of people have been asking, who is Rebecca Schofield?
A woman who calls herself Ashley Solves Mysteries has posted scores of videos on TikTok accusing a University of Idaho professor of participating in the killings. Never mind that police said the professor was never a suspect. The TikToker, whose real name is Ashley Gillard, posted this video about 2 weeks before Kohberger's arrest.
We need to dig deeper into her personality so we can understand her beliefs and who she is so that we can further understand her motives for the murders.
We reached out to Gillard. She did not respond, but Professor Rebecca Schofield has responded. Her attorney filing a defamation lawsuit against Gillard. the lawyer Wendy Olson saying, "The statements made about Professor Schofield are false, plain and simple. What's even worse is that these untrue statements create safety issues for the professor and her family. They also further compound the trauma that the families of the victims are experiencing." Professor Schofield twice sent cease and desist letters to Ms. Gillard, but Ms. Gillard has continued to make false statements, knowing they are false. Thus, this lawsuit became necessary to protect Professor Schofield's safety and her reputation. The preliminary hearing will begin on June 26th. It could last several days. We expect prosecutors to reveal much more evidence.
I know.
Last week, we learned that DNA was found on a knife sheath on a bed in the home where the 4 college students.
I know. I was wondering that as well. I was like, where's Phantom been with the popcorn? We're going to go to a truth and transparency video next. Now, this is in reference. Yeah, Kelt, where are you at? This is in reference to the mobile gas station, however you pronounce it. Whoa, where did it go? The biggest clue we all missed. I bet that'll be interesting. We'll do that. Oh, that'll be interesting. The home at nighttime. Where did it go? Oh, I guess I got to go to videos. Give me 1 second. Wait, where? Okay, right here. Mobile Exxon footage not used in the PCA. Oh, it's all right. It's Friday night. Shoot, I'm on every night. Yeah, let's check this video out real quick. This is about the gas station footage.
6 weeks since the crime scene. But can you tell us? Well, the highest priority at this point remains tracking down that white Hyundai Elantra that was seen near the crime scene. But amidst thousands of tips law enforcement has received, it's been like tracking down a needle in a nationwide haystack. It's been 6 weeks since the murders of 4 U of I students. Law enforcement with limited answers, though with plenty of leads to go off of.
Investigators continue to work through over 17,000 tips and leads that we've had thus far. The last number that we had were over 250 interviews have been conducted thus far, and that number continues to grow every day.
Despite the sea of potential leads, no substantial updates have been announced in weeks. I asked if there was anything that they could share that might indicate that they're progressing in this case.
It's hard for people in the public to understand the inner workings and the things that are going on behind the scenes in an investigation like this. Like I said before, 7,000 leads is a massive amount of information to analyze, review, and then get out to the investigators to work on. Making progress. This is continuing to move forward, and we've got investigators working on this 24 hours a day.
Despite little information to go off of,
there are a lot of theories out there.
Continue to work through over 7. 17,000 tips and leads that we've had thus far. But the last number that we had were over 250 interviews have been conducted thus far, and that number continues to grow every day.
Despite the sea of potential leads, no substantial updates have been announced. In this case,
it's hard for the people in the public to understand the inner workings and the things that are going on behind the scenes in an investigation like this. Like I said before, 17,000 tips and leads is a massive amount of information to analyze, review, and then get out to the investigators to work on. We are making progress. The case is continuing. It's hard for people in the public to understand the inner workings and the things that are going on behind the scenes in an investigation like this. Like I said before, 17,000 tips and leads is a massive amount of information to analyze, review, and then get out to the investigators to work on. We are making progress. The case is continuing.
Maybe a big break in the case, a grainy image of a speeding car that could be the white Hyundai Elantra police are looking for. A night manager at this gas station in Moscow, Idaho, discovered surveillance video that showed a white sedan driving by on the night the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered. The timestamp says 3:45 a.m., right in the time frame in which police say the killings took place. The video has been handed over to police. It shows the car traveling on this road outside the gas station. It's just 1.2 miles from the house where the students were murdered. Students were murdered. The timestamp says 3:45 a.m., right in the time frame in which police say the killings took place. The video has been handed over to police. It shows the car traveling on this road outside the gas station. It's just 1.2 miles from the house where the students were murdered.
Who's out at 3:45 a.m. speeding? And this is significant, Harris, very significant. In a town of less than 50,000 people, less than 30,000 people, the driver has not come forward. Why?
Inside Edition spoke with News Nation's Brian Enton in Idaho.
The exact direction we don't know. We know that it was on Highway 8, right in front of the gas station, and turned onto a side road. It appeared the car was headed out of town, and reportedly the assistant manager at the gas station said it was going quite fast.
The night manager says she was acting on a hunch and went through hours of surveillance video from that night. Turns out her hunch was right. Now questions are being raised about why a month after the murders, that gas station video and others from businesses along Route 8 had not been already examined by police. There are
Very well done video. I appreciate this truth and transparency. Oh, trust me, I play here and there, Pam. I just can never remember how to play it. Trust me.
The time says 3:45 a.m.
Trust me, if I'm winning, I'm going to have a new studio. I'm going to have my own business. I'm going to invest in some real estate. I'm going to have my 9 to 5 show with my studio. Yeah. They're definitely, I'd probably make some kind of foundation too for all the stuff that we cover, because I would keep talking about all this stuff. Definitely have a foundation. That way, every case that we cover, it's always going to whatever foundation, from a foundation. You know what I mean? I think it'd definitely be cool to start some kind of charity organization or something. Killed's back.
Right in the time frame in which police say the killings took place. The video has been handed over to...
I'm wondering, can I do memberships and create my own? I know I can on Twitch, where I can create my own icons and stuff like that with like my pictures and stuff. I'm not sure how the membership stuff works on YouTube. Do you have to be monetized in order to have memberships, or is that... And I'm not sure what you're asking, Pam. The only thing I do have is Cash App right now. I'm not using PayPal, and I know there's Venmo. And honestly, when it would come to donation, other than super chats, those are cool because those you can, pop up on there. I am trying to figure out a way with the Baptismo that whenever there is like a donation, I can have it linked up so it does pop up on chat. I'm not sure. But I do get a text message anytime there is a Cash App. I do get a text message, so I am able to say thank you on the stream. It just won't pop up. I guess I could always like have like a pre message I copy and paste or something, and then I could put it up there. That's a good idea. But yeah, I don't know. I tried looking into it to see about the super chats, which you have to be monetized for that, I think. I'm at like 2.3 thousand hours watched, and I need 4,000, so I'm over halfway there just in a couple months that I've been doing the show. And then but I'm like 810 subs away from the 1,000, and I have 0 strikes, so I meet everything else. It's just eventually I would get to the 4,000 no problem, because only a couple months I already got 2.3 thousand hours watched, so that's not a big thing. I don't know how it all works. I'm still trying to learn it and figure it out. So I just have Cash App. I probably should check out Venmo or something. I like PayPal. It just sucks that PayPal won't allow you to change your name. I don't know why. Yes, I hope we all win. I think it'd be cool somehow. Funds needed to run the deed. Yeah, like definitely have some kind of charity and foundation and organization. I'd have my own detail business for classic cars. Only classics. My podcast studio. Lottery cash options, especially with 1.35 billion, Shoot. You might as well take it all the way right now. Because who knows what's going to happen in a year, At least you can put it in the bank and donate it and give it to people, instead of like, a year down the road, all of a sudden, nah. All right, let's finish this up. This is a good video.
It shows the car traveling on this road by the gas station. It's just 1.2 miles from the house where the students were murdered.
Yeah, I gotta do Venmo.
3:45 a.m. speeding. Very significant. In a town of less than 50,000 people, less than 30,000 people, the driver has not come forward. Why?
Inside Edition spoke with News Nation's Brian Enton in Idaho.
The exact direction we don't know. We know that it was on Highway 8, right in front of the gas station, and turned onto a side road. It appeared the car was headed out of town, and reportedly the assistant manager at the gas station said it was going quite fast.
The night manager says she was acting on a hunch and went through hours of surveillance video from that night. Turns out her hunch was right. Now questions are being raised about why a month after the murders, investigation video and others from businesses along Route 8 had not been already examined by police. There are
Yeah, I'd definitely be playing the stock market too. I have always wanted to. I have a feeling I'd do really good at that if I had opportunities. The way that I get into analytics and shit. Very interesting video. I'm going to go ahead and share the link to this again. What a video. I love the presentation too. I can't wait to get some music like this for my background for the whole time. Dun, 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 dun.
It's just 1.2 miles from the house where the students were murdered.
Who's out at 3:45 a.m. speeding? And this is significant, Harris, very significant. In a town of less than 50,000 people, less than 30,000 people, the driver has not come forward. Why?
Inside Edition spoke with News Nation's Brian Enton in Idaho.
The exact direction we don't know. We know that it was on Highway 8, right in front of the gas station, and turned onto a side road. It appeared the car was headed out of town, and reportedly the assistant manager at the gas station said it was going quite fast.
The night manager says she was acting on a hunch and went through hours of surveillance video from that night. Turns out her hunch was right. Now questions are being raised about why a month after the murders, that gas station video and others from businesses along Route 8 had not been already examined by police.
Car was headed out of town, and reportedly the assistant
Man, I
manager
love
at the
this
gas station
music.
said it was going quite fast.
The night manager says she was acting on a hunch and went through hours of surveillance video from that night. Turns out her hunch was right. Now questions are being raised about why a month after the murders, that gas station video and others from businesses along Route 8 had not been already examined by police.
So awesome. Bravo. 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 Damn, I feel like clapping after that shit. What a great video, truth and transparency. Holy shit. The music, the presentation, the suspense. I was sucked in the whole time. Wow. It was like a movie. That was pretty badass. All right, next thing, I'm going to go to a News Nation video here. This is criminal defense attorney on the Idaho killings. Just mixing it up a little bit tonight. Thank you for hanging out. And you've been buying stock in a mining company. That's interesting. What kind of mining?
Josh Ritter, host of the True Crime Daily Sidebar podcast. He's also a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, and you just heard him there. Thank you for being with us this morning. I don't want to make too much of the scratches on his face, but I have to think that he's a pretty unique inmate in that area right now, and to show up in court with these very apparent bloody scratches on his face from a shave. I'm wondering what type of blades inmates are typically given to shave.
The rubber kind, maybe?
Well, they're not the nice ones. They're not the expensive kind. I mean,
Right.
they're given, the kind of whatever the county can afford. So I'm not surprised that would be the explanation for the scratches. But
The rubber blades or the single blade razors, something.
you're right. Anytime he shows up to court,
Titanium.
now, everything's
Ooh.
going to be microanalyzed, including any
Nice,
kind of
Pam.
scars or bruising he may have on his face, because he is getting a lot of attention. He is an inmate that all of the other inmates where he's being held know about. So it's certainly something to cause people to be at least curious about.
Yeah, well, my first thought went to maybe somebody tried to attack him, right, for what he is accused of doing. That's, of course,
Right.
extremely speculative, but I think the general public sees that and wonders the same thing. All right, let's talk about this case. We
I like this lady a lot.
won't see him back in court for this preliminary hearing
Right,
until
very
June.
dope.
Who benefits more from all of this time, the defense or the prosecution?
The defense does, because they're playing catch up completely.
With no shaving cream either. And I'm telling you, from experience with no shaving cream, ouch. And you definitely get cut the fuck up. I do anyway.
The prosecution knows all the evidence. The police have been working on this since the murders took place. They're on top of everything, and now the defense is getting this huge cachet of evidence that they have to go through, and that's why it's not surprising that they offered that in case magnet. When you're dealing with a case this serious with all, what is at stake for him, potentially a death penalty case here, and then just kind of the multifaceted investigation, all of the stuff that the defense is going to have to dive through. It was not a shock to me at all that they asked for the amount of time that they did.
The affidavit revealed some really chilling details about the surviving roommate coming in contact with seeing the killer walk down the hallway and then out the back sliding glass door. How important will that roommate's testimony be if she is in fact called as a witness?
It'll be hugely important, and I would be shocked if she wasn't called as a witness. That was one of the bombshells in that affidavit, that somebody in the house actually witnessed someone matching his description. She wasn't able to positively identify the face because he was wearing a mask, but someone matching his description, including having bushy eyebrows, walked close enough to her that she described it as having looked him straight in the face. What's important about that is there is no other eyewitness to anyone being in that house. So there was no surveillance footage that we know of, at least yet, that captured anyone entering or exiting that home. So to actually have someone say, yes, I saw a person matching his description, height, weight, roughly, and the description of his eyebrows, be hugely impactful.
Right. So the affidavit revealed a lot of evidence that investigators had that led to the arrest. It seemed thorough to most of us, the police work that went into it, right? Connecting all these dots, we went, oh yeah, it seems like you've got a pretty good suspect here. Do you see any holes in what they have released publicly, in what they have? Do they have enough for a conviction in your opinion?
I think they do. And I know this is early on, and we're probably going to get more evidence, because the affidavit is not a police report. It's just enough evidence to put in front of a judge to ask for an arrest warrant. So I imagine that there is more out there, but I thought it was extremely thorough. The defense has really got an uphill battle on their hands, especially when it comes down to the DNA found on that knife sheath. When you start to add things like DNA and eyewitnesses on top of a case that includes a lot of very powerful circumstantial evidence, and the fact that his vehicle was in the area several times before, that his phone was turned off during the time of the murders, all of that creates a great amount of suspicion. But when you start adding things like DNA and eyewitnesses, that almost becomes insurmountable for the defense.
Twofold final question for you. A chance this doesn't go to trial, and if it does, how important will it be for the prosecution to prove and provide a motive?
I think the chances of this not going to trial are very slim. The only way I could see this ending in a plea agreement is if they do pursue death, and in some sort of plea agreement, they agree to take the death penalty off the table in exchange for him entering a plea, which would likely be for life without parole. Putting that aside, I think this absolutely ends up in a trial. And I'm sorry, I forgot
The
your
motive.
second
We want
question.
to we want to know a motive, but do prosecutors
I-
focus on that?
The motive, prosecutors don't have to prove motive, but in cases like this, jurors want to know. It's just the thing, that last piece that makes no sense here. And even if it's something like he was just obsessed with them, or he was obsessed with the idea of murder, or he was obsessed with seeing if he couldn't get away with something, that might be enough for jurors to hang their hats on. But it's a mistake, I think, if the prosecution just leaves that completely unanswered.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find news.
That's interesting. Let me see. There was something else here. Crime Talk. Richard Allen. Let's see. Ooh, this one right here was Idaho suspect stalking victims before the killings. Top 7 developments. Anna Walsh's husband reportedly threat to kill her years before disappearance. So I wonder what they have to say about this one. Tomorrow, I might go on an afternoon stream. I'll definitely put in the title if it's going to be related to the true crime stuff or if it's going to be sports. I might go on tomorrow during the afternoon. Definitely will be Sunday for sports. Tomorrow night, I would like to do a show on Ann Taylor, which is the public defender for BK. I would like to also do in that show like half and half, and then the other one, Dr. Catherine Ramslin, kind of go into the public defender of BK in one part, and then the professor in the other part. Jury's like motive. Oh yeah. But I'd like to do, you can do I'm just saying there's playoffs. And I might hop on for a little bit and talk some football, check some scores, just hang out. I got this phone number now so people can just call in and talk about their football game they're watching, you know. What do you got? Do you got money on it? Are you betting on it? What's going on? I can look up articles and stats, and I can even have the live ticker of the football games and stuff, you know. I just can't show the video. So I think I already thought about what I could do to have live action sports up to the moment, you know, scores and stuff like that. I just have to figure out how I can integrate live scores into the ticker or something, how I can do that. I don't know. I have to look up that stuff. But yeah, Ann Taylor, looking up Ann Taylor. So if you have any videos on YouTube you can find or any news articles, go ahead and send them my way. I'll be going through those. I am going to go through a lot of the links, see if any of them are videos we already watched, or see if they're videos that are older. I apologize if I don't get to play all of them. And I'm exhausted. It's been a long week, and I'm sorry if me being so exhausted this week has came out. I haven't been the energetic CJ that I usually have been for the last couple months. It's just a different kind of adjustment here when it comes to everything. So, but I'm 1 week through. I got a weekend coming up to recoup, and then I'll have a game plan now that I know. And then I'm excited to talk some sports too. It's too bad college football's over because it would have been cool to talk a lot of college football too. But we do have March Madness coming up. But anyway, yeah, I think it's cool having this phone number now. I think it'll be really cool, especially with sports and this true crime stuff. I'm exhausted. I am definitely exhausted. Let's see here. 1 second. I think I'm getting a call here. 1 second. Hello? Hello? Oh, I'm so hungry too. I am exhausted. Give me 1 second. See, I wish I knew how to like turn on the ringer while I'm in another browser. Oh, here we go.
Call from Kib Kitty.
From Kib Kitty. Let's see, I hit accept. Hello, Kib Kitty. I wish I knew how to like...
Hey.
Oh, I can hear me in the background.
Sorry, I'll turn my other phone down.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, this is cool. Hey, what's up?
Am I on?
I don't know. Can everybody hear her? Can you guys hear Kib Kitty? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody can hear me.
I'm in StreamYard now. Kib Kitty, yes, first caller. Yep, they can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone.
How are you doing? Thanks for hanging out so
I'm
late
good.
tonight.
Oh, it's Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, SRB. Yep, Kel. SRB say they hear you. That's cool.
This is awesome.
I know, it's pretty neat that you can just call the phone number. So if you want to explain to everybody, if nobody's done it before, like how does it work? Like, what do? You just call the phone number and...
I call the phone number and it asks for your name. You can use a different name if you want, whatever. And then it connects to you. You answer it.
And so what does it just ring until I pick it up and then I hit it?
Yeah.
Does it say that I've accepted your call or does it just take you right?
No.
It just...
No, it just rings until you pick it up.
Okay, cool. I appreciate you helping me check it out. I think it's going to be really cool when it comes to the afternoon sports shows.
Oh, for sure.
And plus anybody, like if they don't want to be on YouTube or, show their channel or whatever, it also gives them a level of comfort to also contact the show and talk about stuff as well. And I'm just curious how I can play videos. I don't think I'll be able to play videos while I have the calls, so I'll have to come up with some of my own background videos or something that I can play, or maybe like an overlay or something. So I'll have to figure that out because it does show personal information. If I do show it, it will show the personal information, the actual phone number and such, and I don't need to be having anybody's personal phone numbers out there. So
right,
that is one thing I'll have to figure out, some kind of overlay or something where it'll show me and maybe like some kind
well,
of
I
call.
don't think it shows the phone number calling. Only you see that.
Yeah, but I have to, in order for everybody to hear you, I have to screen share the actual the thing. It's called Google Voice, and if you go to voice.google.com, you can actually create one for yourself. And you just link your real phone up to it, and then what it does is you can choose from a list of phone numbers. And then so what happens is so like we're talking on the phone right now. The reason I have to screen share it is so your audio for your phone call can go into the stream. Otherwise, if I screen share a video from something else, it automatically takes your audio. So I think I really need to come up with some kind of overlay where because it shows the real phone number that you're calling from right now, and we definitely don't need that information or anybody else's phone number, being put out there.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
I do have to figure out some kind of overlay or something. So I do have a program that I can use for that. So maybe since the weekend's coming up, I can actually do some creating with the graphic design stuff, and I can come up with something. So that way, when we do have calls and such,
you guys are funny.
Put me
in the book for the first call.
Pretty neat.
This isn't my type of thing. Being on panel that one day was nerve-wracking.
Oh, so you like this better? You like being able to...
I kind of like this better.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable this way.
It's more comfortable?
Yep.
That's cool. At least, and it's as easy as calling a phone number. That's the cool part about it. So you can just be sitting there watching your TV, have the live chat showing on the screen, and then
I'm sitting on my porch having a cigarette.
Well, let's go. How's the weather there?
It was 60 today, but tomorrow morning, 28.
Oh, wow. 28.
We're getting the cold.
Oh, geez. 28? So it's 61 today and 28 tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning when I get up.
I'm surprised your guys are getting it.
I know. We have our kerosene heater in the garage all ready for morning.
Wow. So how long is it supposed to be that? So they probably don't have the trucks to handle the roads freezing. Are you getting precipitation or is it just cold?
No, it's just cold.
Oh, so there won't be frozen roads or nothing?
They don't have ice trucks or anything yet.
Oh, I imagine not. So that'd be chaos if you guys had freezing rain on the roads, but there's no precipitation.
Last January, February, I want to say, they had icy roads, and I couldn't believe all the places that were closed.
Oh, wow.
It's like, come on, have you never been in winter?
Yeah, but that black ice ain't no joke.
Yeah, and there's a bridge that you got to cross over the intercoastal.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like, yeah, no thanks, I'll stay on my side.
The intercoastal. That sounds high, and yeah, bridges when it comes to freezing rain, that's not good at all. That wind that blows underneath them.
I said, we're not crossing the bridge to go to Myrtle Beach or whatever. Not happening.
SRB says, ha 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 ha, love her.
Oh, love you, SRB, Pam, Kelk.
I wish I got the emojis. Some of them I don't get, but I get some of the emojis, but some of them I don't. I wonder why.
Now I'm going to challenge you guys to call in.
Uh-oh. She's challenging you guys to call in. Well, we got plenty of shows coming up, and everybody's more than welcome. You just have until I figure out how to get an alert while I'm in another tab, because Kib Kitty had messaged me and said that she tried calling it and it went to voicemail. So I actually have to have the app open to know that I'm getting the call right now, because for some reason it doesn't ring in my ear when I am getting a call in another tab. So if you are going to call, just give me a heads up in chat. Hey, giving you a call, and then I can make sure I go over to the Google Voice tab and make sure I'm sitting there where I can accept a call. There's no, it's just like placing a regular phone call, and I think that's why it's going to be really cool with the sports, because I always wanted to have a sports show that you could call in and we could just chit chat about teams and stats and all sorts of stuff. So I'm excited, especially. Do you know who's playing tomorrow?
I thought I saw Miami, and I can't remember who they're playing. I don't remember.
My Cowboys are, well, the Dallas Cowboys are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So are they going to be facing? Are they going to be facing the Tom Brady that's past his prime now, or are they going to be facing championship Tom?
Yeah, it's hard time.
I'm excited. It's going to be a good game. Let me see. I'll check to see.
Mine's Pittsburgh or Minnesota, the Vikings.
Let me see here. We got, so tomorrow at 3:30, Seattle and San Francisco. And then there's another game. Jacksonville made the playoffs. Jacksonville?
Really?
Made the playoffs at 9-8.
Whoa.
Wow. So Seattle, San Francisco, 3:30 Central. And then Saturday night, Los Angeles Chargers and Jacksonville at 7:15 Central. And then Sunday, we got, the Cowboys play Monday. Nice. Sunday, there's Miami and Buffalo at noon.
Oh, that's when Miami plays.
Yeah. Then Sunday afternoon at, I'll just say 4:30 Eastern, New York and Minnesota. That's going to be a good game. Minnesota's 13-4. Yeah, Minnesota's 13-4. And then Sunday night is Baltimore and Cincinnati. That's a good division game right there. Baltimore and Cincinnati. And then you got Monday Night Football, Dallas and Tampa Bay.
Pam says she grows butterflies.
Let me get the chat here real quick. SRB, I will one day. Pam, I went to put milk, weeds, plants, and garbage. Oh, no. You grow butterflies? That's neat. Huh. Take some pictures sometime, Pam, and send them to me of the butterflies and the cocoons and stuff. That'd be pretty neat to see those different pictures. Monday Night Football, Dallas and Tampa Bay. Maybe Monday night I might have to do a show while Dallas is playing their game. Maybe Monday night I'll be doing a football stream.
Just don't put it on your show.
No, I can't watch it. But I can have a live ticker for the game because it's got it in the background and everything. It's pretty cool. It's I can't remember what it's called. Need to get some kind of a league pass or something. But yeah, it's like a live ticker or something where it shows like the court or the field, the plays, the stats live. Gamecast is what it's called. Yeah, ESPN Gamecast. So I can have those up. It's pretty neat. It shows real-time stats and everything.
I'm going to get off.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
To call in.
Yeah, thanks
see
for
how it works.
Yeah, thanks for helping me try it out. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I hope you have a good night.
Are
and
you
stay
closing
warm.
your show? Or
Yeah, I'll probably be closing it down here shortly. I'm gonna go
Okay.
through the list and stuff and see what's left. And if anybody else would like to call, they're more than welcome. But yeah, I'll probably end up closing it down here and chilling
Okay.
back.
Well, you have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much. You too.
Okay, thanks.
I appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye. Hubby has fantasy sports. Yes, thank you, Kib Kitty. Wow. That was awesome. Was the audio okay? Did it go through good? Yeah, I definitely have to figure out an overlay for the calls. Just so that the personal's not out there. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You got the Gamecast right here. This is just an NBA game because it's going on right now. But you got the current on the court stats, like you have on the scoreboard up top. You got the court here. It shows you who has the ball. It shows you all the information here. Look at that. Play-by-play, full play-by-play. You got the score. You got it broken down. Timeouts. Look at all that. It's going to be great. We're going to be able to do... but I do have to do this here. Oh, shoot. I forgot to end the call. I'm sorry, Kib Kitty. I totally didn't even think about it. Sorry about that. It just gave me that little note. Yeah, I got to figure out how to hear it ringing while I'm in another tab. So if anybody's familiar with Google Voice, it knows I already turned on I went through all the troubleshooting and the options. I have everything turned on. I'm not sure what the magic switch is that allows me to hear a phone ringing while I'm in another tab. So if you guys ever do call, just make sure to put it in chat, and then I should get there. Audio was great. Cool. Thank you. That was awesome, Kip. It was a lot easier being on the phone than it was being on panel. That's cool. I'm glad that I was able to have an option for that, instead of having to, StreamYard.com on your web browser and this and that. And, you gotta have earbuds so it doesn't. I'm glad it was a lot easier. So once I figure out how to make it work on my end better, definitely be cool. So I got to get an overlay, a new background for the sports. But yeah, this is pretty much what it's going to be like. And then for the NFL, since they're playing Monday night, I probably will do. I'll probably chill back, watch the Cowboys game, have the Cowboys game sitting up here, and be kicking it back and just hanging out. Let's just hang out and talk. Call in if you want. I mean, it'll be neat. Just hang out. You don't even have to enjoy football. You can root with me if you want to. It'd be cool. All right, let's look. I'm going to look to see if there's any breaking real quick. Always got to check that every once in a while. I'm excited, though. I'm ready to do some sports some nights. Some fantasy sports. We can all just hang out more in the afternoons. I got to think of a name for it, too. My afternoon sports podcast. Definitely doing Monday Night Football with the Cowboys. Let's see here. Delphi latest news. Oh, that has nothing to even do with any of that case that we study. I'm not really seeing anything breaking. No, not really. The skies, yeah. Well, I'll go through. Oh, yeah, I did want to check this out. Lottery tickets. That's right. Thank you, Pam. All right, January 10th. It is not January 10th. Get your tickets out, everybody. Yes, I'm glad that we got a phone number. Plus, I was like, man, that's such a catchy number. 812-250-8484. The behavior panel. SBFO. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad. And then you guys will be more comfortable too to be, more comfortable for you guys to call in. Hell, you could even call while you're driving, if you have the proper equipment to do so. You know what I'm saying? Hands free. Yeah, that was neat. Come on, let's get these winning numbers. How come it didn't take... It was like 15 minutes last time. Here, I'm going to go to this. I wanted to watch this Idaho suspect video on News Nation real quick. I'll keep checking. And I'll let you know.
Thanks, yes, on News Nation. Right now, prosecutors are working to show that cell phone data prove Brian Koberger is stalking his victim. The records put his phone near the crime scene at least 12 times before the murders. Koberger is not expected back in court again until late June. In the meantime, though, he is being held without bail. Nancy Liu is live for us in Moscow. And Nancy, this tragedy now has a lot of people focusing on personal safety and awareness.
You're right, Nicole. The revelations that Brian Koberger had been watching this rental home where he allegedly killed 4 people raises the question of how can someone tell if they're being watched, and can you be too cautious now that college kids are back on campuses all over the country? Safety experts say heightened awareness is always a good idea.
Is this your car?
Cellular data and surveillance images placed Brian Koberger's phone and his white Elantra near the Moscow rental home multiple times.
Good night, Kib Kitty, and thank you again for helping me test that out and being the first caller. That's pretty neat. I'm glad it's comfortable. It's easier. It's just if it's a better way, it's a better way. That's neat. You don't even have to have a web browser or have internet on your phone to be able to contribute. All you need is a phone number. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Kip Kitty.
Before Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonsalves, and Maddie Mogan were found stabbed to death in November.
My first thought when I heard of these 4 college students being murdered was that it was targeted. And second, that there might be a stalking related connection, that one or more of the people that were targeted may have had a stalker.
Chris Mohandi is a veteran police psychologist and expert on stalking.
You immediately thought that white car is the key.
Oh, I thought that they got a car on video. That's going to be huge because, there's a reason they're asking for it. It's not just one video.
Kaylee Gonsalves told friends and relatives that she was worried about a stalker. Her sister Olivia spoke exclusively to News Nation after Koberger's arrest.
We had no idea. She had no idea. I had no idea that true evil was genuinely watching them.
A sealed search warrant affidavit means law enforcement has yet to reveal the digital footprints Koberger may have left.
It felt very targeted. It felt, that there was a very likely chance that one or several of the girls had been stalked by this individual.
Stalking survivor Lenora Clark met Justin Massler in 2011 when he sought her out and showed up at her art gallery.
I spoke to him for a moment, He looked me in the eyes and he said, well, you look like Jessica Rabbit and I'm going to stalk you. Very quickly, it escalated to incredibly graphic
Wow.
death, kidnap, and sexual assault threats. And I absolutely began to fear for my life at that
Wow.
point.
Massler was convicted in 2018 and sentenced to 4 years, but he only served 2.
If we're sitting at a restaurant, you better believe I'm the one facing out. But it's that hypervigilance that's kept me alive all these years.
According to the Stalking Awareness Research Center, about 13.5 million people are stalked every year, up dramatically from a decade ago, and that's mainly due to social media.
I do believe that social media and the internet and the virtual world has caused or contributed to an escalation in the prevalence of stalking, as well as given offenders, an environment they can exploit for their advantages.
While the majority of stalkers are partners or acquaintances, nearly 1 in 5 are strangers.
If you are getting threats or communication that makes you feel uncomfortable on social media, absolutely catalog all of it, save all of it, and don't block that individual.
When in doubt, check it out, make a report.
Good night,
and
Pam.
have
Thank
something
you.
on the record. And whatever you do, don't throw away the evidence you might have.
Stay
whether
warm.
it's a card,
Stay
a
warm.
note, something that's captured on a security camera. All that can be important down the road.
Now, due to the gag order in the Koberger case, we may not know of any connections to the victims in this case until when and if there is a trial. But from the very beginning, Moscow police had said the victims here had been targeted.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, and they also said that it was a murder-suicide. All right, Kel, so you want me to go to... let me see here. What was it? Which one did you want me to go to, Kel? Oh, it gives me an email that I have a missed call, but I don't get a beep when I get an email. That sucks. Let me see here. Slain, the family lawyer sets record straight. Is that the one? Yes, for sure. Kel, which one were you talking about? Sorry, I have a couple days worth of emails and I'm not sure. Let me see here 1 second. The funny short one from Behavior Panel. Which email is it? I tried. Let me see. Let me go back to the Mega Million numbers real quick. Yeah, which email is it? No, I want to play it. Wow, they still don't have it updated? What? It's like 23 minutes later. How long does it take to update the numbers? Okay, I will, Cal. Yeah, just remind me. Or if you still have it, hell, just send it to me again and put in the subject, video when ladies are here, please. Yeah, we're good. I won't play it. I've been just sitting here refreshing these numbers. I'm surprised they're not up yet. We still have January 10th results. So I'm trying to hang out until these numbers are popped up. All right, so I'm going to go to the next video I did want to check out. That one was okay. It was all right. I do like Law and Crime Network. I do want to hear this one, though. Ooh, there's another video about it, too.
But now to the ongoing missing person investigation in Massachusetts. News Nation learning nearly a decade ago, Anna Walsh's husband threatened to kill her and her friends. Walsh has not been seen alive for nearly 2 weeks. Right now, her husband is in custody, accused of misleading police about her disappearance. Correspondent Evan Lambert is live in Massachusetts. And Evan, you just learned some new information.
Nicole, yeah, we've been able to confirm that search warrants connected to this investigation have been returned to the court, but they are under seal, so the public can't find out what's in them. Information, maybe like what investigators have already found. We are also learning more about that episode from several years back in which Anna Walsh reported to police that her husband threatened to kill her. Missing Massachusetts mom Anna Walsh hasn't been seen for more than 12 days, but News Nation is learning about a new troubling episode from her past that might shed light on her relationship with her husband. Brian Walsh is jailed, accused of lying to police about where he was in the days surrounding her disappearance. A DC police report we obtained shows in 2014, Anna Walsh, then Anna Nip, reported Brian Walsh, quote, made a statement over the telephone that he was going to kill her and her friends. The case never progressed because police say the mother of three, who would eventually marry Brian Walsh, stopped cooperating.
And may they be drawn ever closer to you in their suffering.
Thursday, dozens in the Cohasset community came together to pray by candlelight for Anna, who police say was last seen January 1st.
She was a great person, very loving, very supporting, a great friend.
And as media attention swirls around Walsh's disappearance, many wonder why it's primarily white women who go missing that make the news. According to a November analysis by the Columbia Journalism Review, white people made up 47% of the missing people in its data, but 70% of the news stories, while black people made up 22% of missing persons cases reviewed and just 13% of the stories. Boston police noting 41-year-old Reina Morales Rojas is missing too. She was last seen at the end of November getting into a car in East Boston and was later dropped off in Somerville. And we have a weekly missing series on News Nation Alive. Our mission with that is to show these cases from across the spectrum, all kinds of missing persons cases. You can see that on air and online at newsnationnow.com. Nicole?
And trying to bring light to those cases. All right, Evan, thank you. Thank you for watching.
Oh gosh, the volume change when they end them. Jeez. Threatened to kill her. Maybe this one has more information. Let me see. Yeah, we did see something about that. Live Fox Now. Watch this one. See what this one says. It's a short one, though. Okay, I know which one you're talking about.
Follow the disappearance of mother and wife Anna Walsh. We are learning that her husband threatened her life 9 years ago, and this comes as friends and family come together to pray for her. Evan Lambert is live in Cohasset, Massachusetts, outside the home of that couple. He has the latest in the investigation. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning, Mitch. We know from that police report in 2014, Anna Walsh reported that her then boyfriend, Brian Walsh, had threatened to kill her and her friends. This becoming all the more relevant as investigators search for Anna Walsh and answers in this case. Overnight, DC police sources confirming to News Nation that in 2014, Anna Walsh, then Anna Nip, reported Brian Walsh, quote, made a statement over the telephone that he was going to kill her and her friends. The case never progressed. Say the mother of three who would have married Brian Walsh stopped cooperating.
And they may be drawn ever closer to in their suffering.
I want to say thank you to Kib Kitty for sending me a message with the numbers. I appreciate that.
Thursday, dozens in the Cohasset community together to put candlelight for Anna, who police say was last seen January 1st.
She was a great person, very loving, very supporting, a great friend.
A few close friends of Anna's joined to comfort each other, but others who live
I
here
only
say
hit
they
43.
felt drawn because of how close-knit their community is.
One number
I
again.
think we all need to stay closer together, be in touch with people, let's see what's going on in their lives.
Meanwhile, Brian Walsh, 47, remains in custody, charged with lying to investigators, as police revealed chilling evidence like blood and a broken knife with blood on it found inside the couple's home. And we also know from public records that Anna Walsh appeared to be trying to get rid of assets quickly. Those is a condo she had been renting in nearby Revere, Massachusetts. Mitch?
You know anything about that house or any of the other assets trying to get rid of?
Yeah, so I talked to someone who was familiar with this transaction, with the sale of that Revere condo. She made about $80,000 in profit on that sale. And this person told me that she was really trying to make that sale go quickly and that she wanted to move to Washington, D.C. So possibly a key part of the investigation there. Mitch?
Okay, Evan Lambert, thank you for that update.
It is interesting why she... Yeah. There's more to it. I saw somebody in chat mention something about dealings and such. So it would be interesting to see what's into that. Let me see here. We know it'll stay in Carroll County. Let's see. Questions arise. That was a good video. Why it was delayed. That might be a good video to check out sometime. Let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna go to... Where was it? I'm gonna go to this one here. Maybe they got some good information on this one too. And then I'll go ahead and end the show after this one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be on in the afternoon, early morning or not. And if it's gonna be crime related or if it's gonna be sports. But I'll definitely have it in the headlines so you'll know the difference if it's one or the other. And I'll see you tomorrow no matter what. Whether it's in the early morning, afternoon, or late morning, early afternoon. But I'll definitely be on in the evening for the crime stuff. And whatever else. Thank you all for hanging out. Yeah, I got one number 2. That's it. That's it. Millisecond of excitement. It's crazy how like a lot of the numbers are so close together. I don't know. It's weird. I don't play it that much, so I wouldn't know. Thank you again, Kib Kitty, for checking out the phone number. I'm glad it's definitely a lot more easier and more comfy. I'm excited about that sports stuff. I think it'll be cool. All right, everybody. I'm going to watch this, and then we're going to go ahead and end it. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight.
I do want to bring in Ken Gray, a retired FBI special agent, now a senior lecturer in criminal justice, that department at University of New Haven. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Certainly. Good morning.
Good morning. And we are hearing a lot of these social media sleuths that are coming in. So the question is, how do you separate fact from fiction at this point?
So web sleuths have become especially involved in cases here in recent years. They sometimes produce useful leads. However, in this particular case, the police are hot on the trail of being able to tie the husband of Anna into her potential murder. It's hard to make a case without a body, but it's not impossible. And so the police are very methodically going along, identifying potential evidence, sending evidence off to the lab, and getting ready to indict Brian Walsh before a grand jury there. But first, they need to get the forensic evidence back from the lab and be able to show that it's forensic evidence associated with Anna before they do that.
And that's the question is, do they have enough evidence at this point? Because we do know that Brian Walsh, they are trying to, it does appear, hold him there with that misleading police charge. Is that what they're doing?
Thank you, SRB. I appreciate you so much.
Are they waiting for, as you mentioned, the grand jury to indict him?
Right. That's exactly what they're doing is that they
Another
were able
shot.
to arrest him on misleading police charges. He was already under house arrest over his art forgery sales. And so holding him is necessary to keep him from leaving the country while they put together their case. I think they are starting to get very close. Of course, if they were able to locate her body, that would make this fact that they have yet to discover her body, this is going to be a little bit more difficult, but not impossible.
Would you be surprised, and it seems like a lot of people have asked this question, if Anna was actually alive and the husband was not involved? Is that even a possibility at this point?
Well, at this point, that has to be considered a possibility, but it depends upon the forensic evidence. That is, if it's shown that the blood in the basement is Anna's, if it shows that the blood on the knife is Anna's, if it turns out that the hatchet that was found at the at the transfer station had blood on it that was Anna's, then all of this information starts piling up, making it more likely than not that something very bad happened to Anna and that she probably is not alive. At this point, though, without a body, you cannot definitely say that. But as the forensic evidence mounts up, you start believing that to be the case.
So at this point, are you surprised at how much information was released earlier this week when Brian Walsh was in court? The prosecutors went right into it and explained basically everything that it appears they know at this point. They went into great detail. I feel like we don't get that very often in most cases. So was that surprising?
Yes, I agree with you that that there was a lot of information that was put out at that hearing. I think that was necessary to be able to hold him, and so I think they revealed as much information as they had simply to be able to place him in jail and keep him from leaving the area. The same information will be presented before a grand jury once it's impaneled, and grand juries will likely be convinced. But again, they're waiting for the results of the forensic evidence to come back. DNA takes time, and as soon as they get that, I expect to see the next step will be impaneling a grand jury and indicting Brian Walsh.
What were your thoughts when his search history was revealed that he had possibly Googled how to dispose of the body or how to get rid of the body of a 100 woman? That seems oddly specific.
It does seem oddly specific, and it certainly looks very bad for Brian Walsh. People don't realize the fact that their search information is retained on their computer, that can be discovered after the case. So you do not do anything anonymously these days. Telephones, cell phones show locations. Internet searches are discoverable. Cameras show you walking into a Home Depot buying cleaning products. All these things are put together to build a case against the person. And in this case, it's starting to look like more and more evidence is piling up against Brian Walsh.
And there's been a lot of talk about his ankle monitor because we've heard from several, law enforcement sources that it's possible the ankle monitor was not set up with GPS, so it was not able to track his every movement. Is that a possibility? Because I was always under the impression that if you had an ankle monitor, it automatically had a GPS attached to it.
Yeah, that was my thought too. However, there may be more than one type of ankle monitor. Some has to show that the person is within a certain distance of the station at a person's home and only detects the fact that they have left the home area. But it was my understanding that ankle monitors do have GPSs built into it. Whether that was working or not is a different matter.
For sure. So where do we go from here? Right now, it's pretty much a waiting game, as you said, as they work to get that DNA and process more of the evidence. It sounds like they did find some very damning evidence, I would say, when they were looking through that dumpster earlier on this week. So now I guess it's pretty much a waiting game.
So again, it's waiting for the results from the lab. It's also obtaining the DNA from the sons to compare against the potential evidence that was found at the transfer station and at the dumpster. And it's also, in addition to the forensic evidence, waiting for the results of the DNA checks. There are a lot of additional searches that can be done. They're searching for additional evidence, trying to find a body, trying to find, in the absence of a body, more blood, more clothing, some of this cleaning products, the tarp, that would happen to.
All right. Ken, so much taking the time to talk to us here. Anything else that you do want to add before I let you go?
I think this case is very similar to one we had out here in Connecticut, that of Fotis Dulos and the disappearance of his estranged wife, Jennifer Dulos. Again, in that case, her body was never found, but they were ready to go to trial on Fotis Dulos for her murder. I think that you're going to have the same situation there in Massachusetts with a murder case without a body.
Wow. I mean, it's what it seems like, with all the evidence that's been discovered, recovered already. It kind of seems that way, unfortunately. Man, this is a scary one. And it does kind of clear up the question about the ankle monitor. Man, not looking good. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a peaceful and positive Friday evening. Stay warm. It's cold in a lot of places right now. Stay safe, stay warm. And I'll see you 2 times tomorrow or 1 time. But I'll see you. Good night, everybody.
Bye.